Yeah, and we are now live on YouTube. So, welcome to the Instant Shakespeare Company reading of the true chronicle history of King Lear, which is the Quarto version. Most of the texts that people read of King Lear are conflated, where they take things from the Quarto and things from the Folio. We do either the Folio or the Quarto. We earlier did a Folio reading this year, and now we're doing the Quarto, which does have some differences, and it's an earlier version of the play. And so very excited that Stephen has put this reading together. And so over to you, Stephen.
Thank you very much, and thank you everybody for joining. I think it should be a very interesting reading. Just a couple of points. Do not intend to read any of the scene or act breaks. I personally believe that they tend to interrupt the flow. Likewise, no stage directions. We'll just read the text and nothing more. We will take the interval will take place at the end of Act 3, Scene 3, before we're going on to Act 3, Scene 4, which is on page 70. So that will be where the break comes, which will be at approximately 2:15, 2:20. And I think just because of the nature of the play and some of the exhausting work that some of you have to do, we'll probably take between 10 or 15 minutes at that time. We'll just see exactly where we stop. Having said that, I hand the whole thing over to you all, and ladies and gentlemen, enjoy yourselves with the true chronicle of King Lear.
I thought the king had more affected the Duke of Albany than Cornwall.
It had always seemed so to us, but now in the division of the kingdoms, it appears not which of the dukes he values most, for equalities are so weighed that curiosity in neither can make choice of either's moiety.
Is not this your son, my lord?
His breeding, sir, hath been at my charge. I have so often blushed to acknowledge him that now I am raised to it.
I cannot conceive you.
Sir, this young fellow's mother could. Whereupon she grew round-wombed and had indeed, sir, a son for her cradle, ere she had a husband for her bed. Do you smell a fault?
I cannot wish the fault undone, the issue of it being so proper.
But I have, sir, a son by order of law, some year elder than this, who yet is no dearer in my account. Though this knave came something saucily into the world before he was sent for, yet was his mother fair. There was good sport at his making, and the horseman must be acknowledged. Do you know this noble gentleman, Edmund?
No, my lord.
My lord of Kent. Remember him hereafter as my honorable friend.
My services to your lordship.
I must love you and sue to know you better.
Sir, I shall study deserving.
He hath been out 9 years, and away he shall again. The king is coming.
Attend my lords of France and Burgundy, Gloucester.
I shall, my liege.
Meantime, we will express our darker purposes. The map there. Know we have divided in 3 our kingdom, and 'tis our first intent to shake all cares and business of our state, confirming them on younger years. The 2 great princes, France and Burgundy, great rivals in our younger daughter's love, long in our court have made their amorous sojourn, and here are to be answered. Tell me, my daughters, which of you shall we say doth love us most, that we our largest bounty may extend where merit doth most challenge it? Goneril, our eldest born, speak first.
Sir, I do love you more than words can wield in matter, dearer than eyesight, space, or liberty, beyond what can be valued rich or rare, no less than life, with grace, health, beauty, honor, as such a child e'er loved, or father friend, a love that makes breath poor and speech unable beyond all matter of so much. I love you.
What shall Cordelia do? Love and be silent.
Of all these bounds, even from this line to this, with shady forests and wide-skirted meads, we make thee, lady, to thine and Albany's issue, be this perpetual. What says our second daughter, our dearest Regan, wife to Cornwall? Speak.
Sir, I am made of the self-same metal that my sister is, and prize me at her worth in my true heart. I find she names my very deed of love, only she came short, that I profess myself an enemy to all other joys, which the most precious square of sense possesses, and find I am alone felicited in your dear highness' love.
And poor Cordelia, and yet not so, since I am sure my love's more richer than my tongue.
To thee and thine hereditary ever remain this ample third of our fair kingdom, no less in space, validity, and pleasure than that confirmed on Goneril. But now, our joy, although the last, not least in our dear love, what can you say to win a third more opulent than your sisters?
Nothing, my lord.
How? Nothing can come of nothing. Speak again.
Unhappy that I am, I cannot heave my heart into my mouth. I love your majesty according to my bond, nor more nor less.
Go to, mend your speech a little, lest it may mar your fortunes.
Good my lord, you have begot me, bred me, loved me. I return those duties back as are right fit. Obey you, love you, and most honor you. Why have my sisters husbands, if they say they love you all? Haply when I shall wed that lord whose hand must take my plight, shall carry half my love with him, half my care and duty. Sure, I shall never marry like my sisters, to love my father all.
But goes this with thy heart?
I could, my lord.
So young and so untender.
So young, my lord, and true.
Well, let it be so. Thy truth then be thy dower. For by the sacred radiance of the sun, the mistress of Hecate, and the might by all the operation of the orbs from whom we do exist and cease to be, here I disclaim all my paternal care, propinquity, and property of blood, and as a stranger to my heart and me, hold thee for this forever. The barbarous Scythian, or he that makes his generation messes to gorge his appetite, shall be as well neighbored, pitied, and relieve as thou, my sometime daughter.
Good my liege!
Peace, Kent! Do come not between the dragon and his wrath. I loved her most, and thought to set my rest on her kind nursery, hence and avoid my sight. So be my grave, my peace, as here I give her father's heart from her. Call France! Who stirs? Call Burgundy, Cornwall, and Albany. With my two daughters' dower digest this third. Let pride, which she calls plainness, marry her. I do invest you jointly in my power, preeminence, and all the large effects, the troop with majesty. Ourself by monthly course with reservation of 100 knights, by you to be sustained, shall our abode make with you by due turns. Only we still retain the name and all the additions to a king, the sway, revenue, execution of the rest. Beloved sons be yours, which to confirm this coronet part betwixt you.
Royal Lear, whom I have ever honored as my king, loved as my father, as my master followed, as my great patron thought on in my prayers.
The bow is bent and drawn, make from the shaft.
Let it fall rather, though the fork invade the region of my heart. Be Kent unmannerly when Lear is mad. What wilt thou do, old man? Think'st thou that duty shall have dread to speak when power to flattery bows? To plainness honor's bound when majesty stoops to folly? Reverse thy doom, and in thy best consideration check this hideous rashness. Answer my life, my judgment. Thy youngest daughter does not love thee least, nor are those empty-hearted whose low sound reverbs no hollowness.
Kent, on thy life no more.
My life I never held but as a pawn to wage against thine enemies, nor fear to lose it, thy safety being the motive.
Out of my sight.
See better, Lear, and let me still remain the true blank of thine eye.
Now by Apollo.
Now by Apollo, king, thou swearst thy gods in vain.
Vassal, recreant.
Do, kill thy physician, and the fee bestow upon the foul disease. Revoke thy doom, or whilst I can vent clamor from my mouth, I'll tell thee thou dost evil.
Hear me, on thy allegiance hear me. since thou hast sought to make us break our vow, which we durst never yet, and with strayed pride to come between our sentence and our power, which nor our nature nor our place can bear, our potency made good, take thy reward. 4 days we do allot thee for provision to shield thee from diseases of the world, and on the 5th to turn thy hated back upon our kingdom. If on the 10th day following thy banished trunk be found in our dominions, that moment is thy death. Away, by Jupiter, this shall not be revoked.
Why, fare thee well, king, since thus thou wilt appear. Friendship lives hence, and banishment is here. The gods to thy protection take thee, maid, that rightly thinks and has most justly said. In your large speeches may your deeds approve, that good effects may spring from words of love. Thus Kent, O princes, bids you all adieu. He'll shape his old course in a country new.
Here's France and Burgundy, my noble lord.
My lord of Burgundy, we first address towards you, who with a king hath rivaled for our daughter. What in the least will you require in present dower with her, or cease your quest of love?
Roger?
Now there's some confusion as to who is Burgundy.
Roger is Burgundy and you're Cornwall.
Okay.
Royal Majesty, I crave no more than what your highness offered, nor will you tender less.
Right, noble Burgundy, when she was dear to us, we did hold her so, but now her price is fallen. Sir, there she stands. If aught within that little seeming substance, or all of it with our displeasure pieced, and nothing else may fitly like your grace, she's there and she is yours.
I know no answer.
Sir, will you, with those infirmities she owes, unfriended, new adopted to our hate, covered with our curse, and strangered with our oath, take her or leave her?
Pardon me, royal sir. Election makes not up on such conditions.
Then leave her, sir, for by the power that made me, I tell you, all her wealth for you, great king, I would not from your love make such a stray. To match you where I hate, therefore beseech you, to avert your liking a more worthy way than on a wretch whom nature is ashamed almost to acknowledge hers.
This is most strange, that even but now was your best object, the argument of your praise, balm of your age, most best, most dearest, should in this trice of time permit a thing so monstrous to dismantle so many folds of favor. Sure, her offense must be of such an unnatural degree that monsters it, or you, for vouched affections fallen into taint, which to believe of her must be a faith that reason without miracle would never plant in me.
I yet beseech your majesty, for I want that glib and oily art to speak and purpose not, since what I well intend, I'll do it before I speak, that you may know it is no vicious blot, murder, or foulness, no unclean action or dishonored step, that hath deprived me of your grace and favor, but even for want of that for which I am rich, a still soliciting eye in such a tongue, as I am glad I have not, though not to have it hath lost me in your liking.
Go to. Better thou hadst not been born than not to have pleased me better.
Is it no more than but this, a tardiness in nature that often leaves the history unspoken that it intends to do? My lord of Burgundy, what say you to the lady? Love is not love when it is mingled with respects that stands aloof from the entire points. Will you have her? She is herself and dowry.
Royal Lear, give but that portion which yourself proposed, and here I take Cordelia by the hand, Duchess of Burgundy.
Nothing, I have sworn.
I am so sorry then you have so lost a father that you must lose a husband.
Peace be with Burgundy. Since that respects of fortune are his love, I shall not be his wife.
Fairest Cordelia, that art most rich being poor, most choice forsaken, and most love despised. Thee and thy virtues here I seize upon. Be it lawful, I take up what's cast away. Gods, 'tis strange that from their coldest neglect my love should kindle to inflamed respect. Thy dowerless daughter, king, thrown to thy chance, is queen of us, of ours, and of our fair France. Not all the dukes in waterous Burgundy shall buy this unprized precious maid of me. Bid them farewell, Cordelia. Though unkind, thou losest here a better where to find.
Thou hast her, France, let her be thine, for we have no such daughter, nor shall ever see that face of her again. Therefore be gone without our grace, our love, our benison. Come, noble Burgundy.
Bid farewell to your sisters.
The jewels of our father, with washed eyes Cordelia leaves you. I know you what you are, and like a sister am most loath to call your faults as they are named. Use well our father. To your professed bosoms I commit him. But yet, alas, stood I within his grace, I would prefer him to a better place. So farewell to you both.
Prescribe not to us our duties.
Let your study be to content your lord, who hath received you at fortune's alms. You have obedience scanted, and well are worth the worth that you have wanted.
Time shall unfold what pleated cunning hides. Who covers faults, at last shame them derides. Well may you prosper.
Come, fair Cordelia.
Sister, it is not a little I have to say of what most nearly appertains to us both. I think our father will hence tonight.
That's most certain, and with you, next month with us.
You see how full of changes his age is. The observation we have made of it hath not been little. He always loved our sister most, and what with poor judgment he hath now cast her off, appears too gross.
'Tis the infirmity of his age, yet he hath ever but slenderly known himself.
The best and soundest of his time hath been but rash. Then must we look to receive from his age, not alone the imperfection of long engrafted condition, but therewithal unruly waywardness, that infirmity and choleric years bring with them.
Such unconstant starts are we like to have from him, as this of Kent's banishment.
There is further compliment of leave. Taking between France and him, pray let's hit together. If our father carry authority with such dispositions as he bears, this last surrender of his will but offend us.
We shall further think on't.
We must do something, and in the heat.
Thou, nature, art my goddess. To thy law my services are bound. Wherefore should I stand in the plague of custom and permit the curiosity of nations to deprive me, for that I'm some 12 or 14 moonshines lag of a brother? Why bastard? Wherefore base? When my dimensions are as well compact, my mind is generous, and my shape as true as honest madam's issue, why brand they us with base bastardy? Who, in the lusty stealth of nature, take more composition and fierce quality than doth within a dull, stale, lie bed, go to the creating of a whole tribe of fops, got between asleep and wake. Well, the legitimate Edgar, I must have your land. Our father's love is to the bastard Edmund as to the legitimate. Well, my legitimate, if this letter's speed and my invention thrive, Edmund the base shall to the legitimate. I grow. I prosper. Now, gods, stand up for bastards.
Kent banished thus, and France in choler parted, and the king gone tonight, subscribed his power, confined to exhibition, all this done upon the gad. Edmund, how now? What news?
So please, your lordship, none.
Why so earnestly seek you to put up that letter?
I know no news, my lord.
What paper were you reading?
Nothing, my lord.
No? What needs then that terrible dispatch of it into your pocket? The quality of nothing hath not such need to hide itself. Let's see. Come, if it be nothing, I shall not need spectacles.
Sir, pardon me, it is a letter from my brother that I have not all or read, for so much as I have perused. I find it not fit for your liking.
Give me the letter, sir.
I shall offend, either to detain or give it. The contents, as in part I understand them, are to blame.
Let's see.
I hope for my brother's justification he wrote this, but as an essay or taste of my virtue.
This policy of age makes the world bitter to the best of our times, keeps our fortunes from us till our oldness cannot relish them. I begin to find an idle and fond bondage in the oppression of aged tyranny, who sways not as it hath power, but as it is suffered. Come to me that of this I may speak more. If our father would sleep till I waked him, you should enjoy half his revenue forever and live the beloved of your brother, Edgar. Ah, conspiracy. Slept till I waked him, you should enjoy half his revenue? My son, Edgar? Had he a hand to write this? A heart and brain to breed it in? When came this to you? Who brought it?
It was not brought me, my lord. There's the cunning of it. I found it thrown into the casement of my closet.
You know the character to be your brother's?
If the matter were good, my lord, I durst swear it were his. But in respect of that, I would fain think it were not.
It is his.
It is his hand, my lord. But I hope his heart is not in the contents.
Hath he never heretofore sounded you in this business?
Never, my lord. But I have often heard him maintain it to be fit that son's at perfect age and father's declining. The father should be as ward to his son, and the son manage the revenue.
Villain! His very opinion in the letter! Abhorred villain! Unnatural, detested, brutish villain, worse than brutish. Go, sir, seek him. I'll apprehend him. Abominable villain! Where is he?
I do not well know. My lord, if it shall please you to suspend your indignation against my brother till you can derive from him better testimony of his intent, you should run a certain course, where if you violently proceed against him, mistaking his purpose, it would make a great gap in your own honor and shake in pieces the heart of his obedience. I dare pawn down my life for him. He wrote this to feel my affection to your honor and to no further pretense of danger.
Think you so?
If your honor judge it meet, I will place you where you shall hear us confer of this, and by an irregular assurance have your satisfaction, and that without any further delay in this present evening.
He cannot be such a monster.
Nor is not, sure.
His father, that so tenderly and entirely loves him. Heaven and earth. Edmund, seek him out. Wind me into him, I pray you. Frame the business after your own wisdom. I would unstate myself to be in a due resolution.
I shall seek him, sir, presently. Convey the business as I shall see the means and acquaint you with all.
These late eclipses in the sun and moon portend no good to us. Though the wisdom of nature can reason thus and thus, yet nature finds itself scourged by the sequent effects. Love cools, friendship falls off, brother and the noble and true-hearted Kent banished, his offense honesty. Strange. Strange.
This is the excellent foppery of the world. That when we are sick in fortune, often the surfeits of our own behavior, we make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, and the stars, as if we were villains by necessity, fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, and treacherous by spiritual predominance, drunkards, liars, and adulterers by an enforced obedience of planetary influence, and all that we are evil in by a divine thrusting on. An admirable evasion of whore-master man to lay his goatish disposition to the charge of stars. My father compounded with my mother under the dragon's tail, and my nativity was under Ursa Major, so that it follows I am rough and lecherous. But I should have been that I am, had the maidenliest star in the firmament twinkled on my bastardy. Edgar. And out he comes, like the catastrophe of the old comedy. Mine is villainous melancholy with a sin like that of Bedlam. Oh, these eclipses do portend these divisions.
Now, Brother Edmund, what serious contemplation are you in?
I'm thinking, brother, of a prediction I read this other day which would follow these eclipses.
You busy yourself about that.
I promise you the effects he writes of succeed unhappily.
Mm-hmm.
Of unnaturalness between the child and parent, death, dearth, dissolution of ancient amity, divisions in state, menaces and maledictions against king and nobles, needless diffidences, banishment of friends, dissipation of cohorts, nuptial breaches, and I know not what.
How long have you been a sectary astronomical?
Come. When saw you our father last?
Why, the night gone by.
Spake you with?
2 hours together.
Parted you in good terms. Found you no displeasure in him by word or countenance.
No, none at all.
Bethink yourself wherein you may have offended him, and at my entreaty forbear his presence, till some little time hath qualified the heat of his displeasure, which at this instant so rageth in him, that with the mischief of your person it would scarce allay.
Some villain hath done me wrong.
That's my fear. Brother, I advise you to the best. Go armed. I am no honest man if there be any good meaning toward you. I have told you what I have seen and heard, but faintly, nothing like the image and horror of it. Pray you away.
Shall I hear from you anon?
I do serve you in this business. Credulous father, and a brother noble, whose nature is so far from doing harms that he suspects none, on whose foolish honesty my practices ride easy. I see the business. Let me, if not by birth, have lands by wit. All with me is meet that I can fashion fit.
Did my father strike my gentleman for chiding of his fool?
Yes, madam.
By day and night he wrongs me. Every hour he flashes into one gross crime or other that sets us all at odds. I'll not endure it. His nights grow riotous, and himself upbraids us on every trifle. When he returns from hunting, I will not speak with him. Say I am sick. If you come slack of former services, you shall do well. The fault of it I'll answer.
He's coming, madam. I hear him.
Put on what weary negligence you please, you and your fellow servants. I'd have it come in question if he dislike it. Let him to our sister, whose mind and mine, I know, are one, not to be o'erruled. Idle old man that still would manage those authorities which he have given away. Now, by my life, old fools are babes again and must be used with checks as flatteries. When they are seen abused, remember what I told you.
Very well, madam.
And let his knights have colder looks among you. What grows of it no matter. Advise your fellow so. I would breed from hence occasions, and I shall that I may speak. I'll write straight to my sister to hold my very course. Go, prepare for dinner.
If but as well I other accents borrow, that can my speech diffuse, my good intent may carry through itself to that full issue for which I've raised my likeness. Now banished Kent, if thou canst serve where thou dost stand condemned, thy master whom thou lovest shall find thee full of labour.
Let me not stay a jot for dinner. Go, get it ready. How now? What art thou?
A man, sir.
What dost thou profess? What wouldst thou with us?
I do profess to be no less than a seam, to serve him that truly will put me in trust, to love him that is honest, to converse with him that is wise and says little, to fair judgment, to fight when I cannot choose, and to eat no fish.
What art thou?
A very honest-hearted fellow, and as poor as the king.
If thou be as poor for a subject as he is for a king, thou'rt poor enough. What wouldst thou?
Service, sir.
Who wouldst thou serve?
You.
Dost thou know me, fellow?
No, sir, but you have that in your countenance which I would fain call master.
What's that?
Authority.
What service canst do?
I can keep honest counsel, run, ride, mar a curious tale in the telling it, and deliver a plain message bluntly. That which ordinary men are fit for, I am qualified in, and the best of me is diligence.
How old art thou?
Not so young to love a woman for singing, nor so old to dote on her for anything. I have years on my back, 48.
Follow me. Thou shalt serve me, if I like thee no worse after dinner. I will not part from thee yet. Dinner! Ho! Dinner! Where's my knave, my fool? Go you and call my fool hither. You, sirrah, where's my daughter?
So please you.
What says the fellow there? Call the clack-pole back. Where's my fool? Oh, I think the world's asleep. How now, where's that mongrel?
He says, my lord, your daughter is not well.
Why came not the slave back to me when I called him?
Sir, he answered me in the roundest manner, he would not.
He would not?
My lord, I know not what the matter is, but to my judgment, your highness is not entertained with that ceremonious affection as you are wont. There's a great abatement, appears as well in the general dependence as in the duke himself also and your daughter.
Sayest thou so?
I beseech you pardon me, my lord, if I be mistaken, for my duty cannot be silent when I think your highness wronged.
Thou but rememberest me of mine own conception. I have perceived a most faint neglect of late, which I have rather blamed as mine own jealous curiosity than as a very pretense and purport of unkindness. I will look further into it, but where's this fool? I have not seen him in 2 days.
Since my young lady's going to France, sir, the fool hath much pined away.
No more of that, I have noted it. Go you and tell my daughter I would speak with her. Go you, call hither my fool. Oh, you, sir, come you hither. Who am I, sir?
My lady's father.
My lady's father, my lord's knave, you horse and dog, you slave, you cur!
I am none of this, my lord. I beseech you, pardon me.
Do you bandy looks with me, you rascal?
I'll not be struck, my lord.
Nor trip neither, you base football player. Ha!
I thank thee, fellow. Thou servest me, and I'll love thee.
Come, sir. Away, I'll teach you differences. Away, away. If you will measure your hubbar's length again, oh, tarry. But away, you have wisdom.
Now, friendly knave, I thank thee. There's earnest for thy service.
Aye, good. Let me hire him too. Here's my coxcomb.
How now, my pretty knave? How dost thou?
Here, you are best to take my coxcomb.
Why, fool?
Why, for taking on his part, that's out of favour. Nay, and thou canst not smile as the wind sits, thou'lt catch the cold shortly. There, take my coxcomb. This fellow hath banished 2 on his daughters, and done the 3rd blessing against his will. If thou follow him, thou must needs wear my coxcomb. Now, nuncle, would I had 2 coxcombs and 2 daughters.
Why, my boy?
Well, if I gave them any living, I'd keep my coxcombs myself. There's mine. Beg another of thy daughters.
Take heed, sirrah, the whip.
Truth's a dog that must to kennel, he that must be whipped out. when a lady or the brack may stand by the fire and stink.
A pestilent gull to me.
Sarah, I'll teach thee a speech.
Do.
Mark it, nuncle. Have more than thou showest, speak less than thou knowest, lend less than thou owest, ride more than thou goest, learn more than thou trowest, set let than thou throwest, leave thy drink and thy whore, and keep in the door, and thou shalt have more than 2 tens to a score.
This is nothing, fool.
Well, then, like the breath of an unfeed lawyer, you gave me nothing for it. Can you make no use of nothing, uncle?
I know, boy, nothing can be made out of nothing.
Oh. Prithee, tell him that so much of the rent of his land comes to. He will not believe a fool.
A bitter fool.
Dost know the difference, my boy, between a bitter fool and a sweet fool?
No, lad, teach me.
The Lord that counselled thee to give away thy land, come place him here by me. Do thou for him stand. The sweet and bitter fool will presently appear. The one in motley here, the other found out there.
Dost thou call me fool, boy?
All other titles thou hast given away, thou wast born with.
This is not altogether a fool, my lord.
No, faith, my lords, and great men will not let me. If I had a monopoly out, they would not have part in it, and the ladies too. They will not let me have all the fool to myself. They'll be snatching. Give me an egg, nuncle, I'll give thee 2 crowns.
What 2 crowns shall they be?
Well, after I've cut the egg in the middle and eat out the meat, the 2 crowns of the egg, when thou clovest the crown in the middle and gavest away both parts, thou borest thy ass at the back, or the dirt. Thou hadst little wit in thy bald crown when thou gavest thy golden one away. If I speak like myself in this, let him be whipped that first finds it so. Fools had ne'er less wit in a year, for wise men are grown foppish. They know not how their wits do wear. Their manners are so apish.
When were you so wont to be so full of songs, Sarah?
I'd have used it, nuncle, ever since thou madest thy daughters thy mother, or when thou gavest them the rod and putst down thy own breeches. Then they for sudden joy did weep, and I for sorrow sung, that such a king should play bo peep and go the fools among. Prithee, nuncle, keep a schoolmaster that can teach thy fool to lie. I would fain learn to lie.
And you lie, we'll have you whipped.
What kin thou and thy daughters are? They'll have me whipped for speaking true. Thou wilt have me whipped for lying. And sometimes I'm whipped for holding my peace. I'd rather be any kind of thing than a fool. And yet I would not be thee, nuncle. Thou hast pared thy wit of both sides and left nothing in the middle. Here comes one of the pairings.
How now, daughter, what makes this frontlet on? Methinks you are too much elate in the frown.
Thou wast a pretty fellow when thou hadst no need to care for her frown. Thou art an O without a figure. I am better than thou art now. I am a fool, thou art nothing. Yes, forsooth I will hold my tongue, for your faith bids me, though you say nothing. Mum, he that keeps neither crust nor crumb, I weary of all shall want some. There's a shelled piece gone.
Not only this, sir, you're all licensed fool, but other of your insolent retinue do hourly carp and quarrel, breaking forth in rank and not to be endured riots. Sir, I had thought by making this well known unto you to have found a safe redress, but now grow fearful by what yourself too late have spoken done, that you protect this course and put on by your weary allowance, which if you should, the fault would not scape censure, nor the redress sleep, which in the tender of a wholesome weal might in their working do you that offense, that else were shame, that necessity must call discreet proceedings.
For you trow, uncle, the hedge sparrow fed the cuckoo so long that it had its head bit off by its young. So out went the candle, and we were left darkling.
Are you our daughter?
Come, sir, I would you would make use of that good wisdom whereof I know you are fraught, and put away these dispositions that of late transform you from what you rightly are.
May not an ass know when the cart draws the horse? Whoop, chug, I love thee.
Doth any here know me? Why, this is not Lear walk thus, speak thus. Where are his eyes, either his notion, weakness, or discernings on lethargy, sleeping or waking? Ha! Sure 'tis not so. Who is it that can tell me who I am? Lear's shadow? I would learn that, for by the marks of sovereignty, knowledge, and reason, I should be false persuaded I had daughters.
Which they will make an obedient father.
Your name, fair gentlewoman?
Come, sir, this admiration is much of the savor of other of your new pranks. I do beseech you to understand my purposes aright. As you are old and reverend, should be wise. Here do you keep 100 knights and squires, men so disordered, so debauched and bold, that this our court, infected with their manners, showed like a riotous inn. Epicurism and lust made more like a tavern or brothel than a great palace. The shame itself doth speak for instant remedy. Be thou desired by her, that else will take the thing she begs, a little to disquantity your train, and the remainder that shall depend to be such men as may besort your age and know themselves and you.
Darkness and devils, saddle my horses, call my train together, degenerate bastard, I'll not trouble thee. Yet I have left a daughter.
You strike my people in your disordered rabble, make servants of their betters.
We that too late repent. So, sir, are you come? Is it your will that we prepare any horses in gratitude? Thou marble-hearted fiend, more hideous when thou showest thee in a child, then see monster detested kike. Thou list my train and men of choice and rarest parts, that all particulars of duty know, and in the most exact regard support the worships of their name. O most small fault, how ugly didst thou in Cordelia show, that like an engine wrenched my frame of nature from the fixed place, drew from my heart all love, and added to the gall. O Lear, Lear, beat at this gate that let thy folly in and thy dear judgment out. Go, go, my people!
My lord, I am as guiltless as I am ignorant.
It may be so, my lord. Hark, nature! Here, dear goddess, suspend thy purpose. If thou didst intend to make this creature fruitful into her womb, convey sterility. Dry up in her the organs of increase, and from her derogate body never spring a babe to honor her. If she must teem, create her child of spleen, that it may live and be a thought disturbed to torment her. Let it stamp wrinkles in her brow of youth with accent tears, fret channels in her cheeks, turn all her mother's pains and benefits to laughter and contempt, that she may feel how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. Go, go, my people!
Now, gods that we adore, whereof comes this?
Never afflict yourself to know the cause, but let his disposition have that scope that dotage gives it.
What? 50 of my followers at a clap within a fortnight?
What is the matter, sir?
I'll tell thee, life and death. I am ashamed that thou hast power to shake my manhood thus, that these hot tears that break from me perforce should make the worst blasts and fogs upon the untender woundings of a father's curse, peruse every sense about the old fond eyes, beweep this cause again. I'll pluck you out, and you cast with the waters that you make to temper clay. Yea, is't come to this? Yet have I left a daughter who I am sure is kind and comfortable. When she shall hear of this of thee, with her nails she'll flee thy wolvish visage. Thou shalt find that I'll resume the shape which thou dost think I have cast off forever. Thou shalt, I warrant thee.
Do you mark that, my lord?
I cannot be so partial, Goneril, to the great love I bear you.
Come, sir, no more. More knave than fool after your master.
Uncle Lear, tarry, take the fool with a fox, but when it's caught her, and such a daughter should be sure follow to the slaughter, and my captured by a halter, so the fool follows after.
What, Oswald Ho?
Here, madam.
What have you writ this letter to my sister?
Yes, madam.
Take you some company and away to horse. Inform her full of my particular fears, and thereto add resource of your own, as may compact it more. Get you gone. And after your return now, my lord, this mild gentleness and course of yours, though I dislike not, Yet under pardon you're more adept, want of wisdom than praise for harmful mildness.
How far your eyes may pierce, I cannot tell. Striving to better aught, we mar what's well.
Nay then, Duke, well then, the event!
Go you before to Gloucester with these letters. Acquaint my daughter no further with anything you know. Then comes from her demand out of the letter. If your diligence be not speedy, I shall be there before you.
I will not sleep, my lord, till I have delivered your letter.
If a man's brains were in his heels, were it not in danger of kibes?
Aye, boy.
Then I prithee be merry, thy wit shall ne'er go slipshod. Now see thy other daughter will use thee kindly, for though she's as like this as a crab is like an apple, yet I can what I can tell.
But why, what canst thou tell, my boy?
She'll taste as like this as a crab doth to a crab. Thou canst not tell why one's nose stands in the middle of his face?
No.
Why, to keep his eyes on either side's nose, that what a man cannot smell out, he may spy into.
I did her wrong.
Canst tell how an oyster makes a shell?
No.
Nor I neither. But I can tell why a snail has a house.
Why?
Why, to put his head in, not to give it away to his daughter and leave his horns without a case.
I will forget my nature, so kind a father. Be my horses ready?
Thy asses are gone about them. The reason why the 7 stars are no more than 7 is a pretty reason.
Because they are not 8.
Yes. Thou wouldst make a good fool.
To take again, perforce, monster, in gratitude.
If thou wert my fool, nuncle, I'd have thee beat for being old before thy time.
How's that?
Thou shouldst not have been old before thou hadst been wise.
Oh, let me not be mad, sweet heaven. I would not be mad. Keep me in temper. I would not be mad. Are my horses ready?
Ready, my lord.
Come, boy.
She that is made now and laughs at my departure shall not be made long, except things be cut shorter.
Save thee, Curran.
And you, sir, I have been with your father and given him notice that the Duke of Cornwall and the Duchess will be here with him tonight.
How comes that?
Nay, I know not. You have heard the news abroad. I mean the whispered ones, but there are but ear-bussing arguments.
Not I, pray you, what are they?
Have you heard of no likely wars twixt the 2 dukes of Cornwall and Albany?
Not a word.
You may then in time. Fare you well, sir.
The Duke be here tonight. The better, best. This weaves itself perforce into my business. My father hath set guard to take my brother, and I have one thing of a queasy question which must be asked briefness and fortune. Help! Brother! A word! Defend brother, I say! Our father watches. Oh, sir, fly this place. Intelligence is given where you are hid. You have now the good advantage of the night. Have you not spoken against the Duke of Cornwall aught? He's coming hither now, in the night, in the haste, and Regan with him. Have you nothing said upon his party against the Duke of Albany? Advise yourself.
I am sure on it, not a word.
I hear my father coming. Pardon me, in craving, I must draw my sword upon you. Seem to defend yourself. Now, quit you well. Yield! Come before my father! Light! Here! Here! Fly, brother, fly! Torches! Torches! So, farewell. Some blood drawn on me would beget opinion of my more fierce endeavor. I've seen drunkards do more than this in sport. Father! Father! Stop! Stop! No! Help!
We are having a slight technical issue in that your father, Gloucester, is unable to connect at the moment. So hopefully he will be with you shortly, or Um,
Let's just wait a few minutes and then if not, we'll go on. David, are you still there?
I'm here, but I don't have, unfortunately, since I didn't think I was going to be reading anything but France, I don't have the whole thing downloaded at the moment, so that's a problem.
If you want a Gloucester to step in, I'm sitting here. Tell me what page we're on.
Yeah, Ben, why don't you go ahead?
What page?
30, it's the bottom of 37.
Bottom of 37. Okay, start somewhere. Oh, enter.
Okay, and just before we do that, Paul, if Jeffrey gets back on, can we just switch back to Jeffrey then, please? Okay, Ben.
Now, Edmund, where's the villain?
Here stood he in the dark, his sharp sword out, warbling of wicked charms, conjuring the moon to stand auspicious mistress.
Well, where is he?
Look, sir, I bleed.
Where is the villain, Edmund?
Fled this way, sir, where by no means he could...
Well, through him, go after him. By no means what?
Persuade me to the murder of your lordship. But that I told him, the revenge of gods gainst parasites did all their thunders bend. Spoke with how many-fold and strong a bond the child was bound to the father. Sir, in a fine, seeing how loathly opposite I stood to his unnatural purpose, with fell motion, with his prepared sword, he charges home my unprovided body, latched mine arm, but when he saw my best alarmed spirits, bold in the quarrels, right, roused to them counter, whether casted by the noise I made, but suddenly he fled.
Now let him fly far. Not in this land shall he remain uncaught and found. Dispatch the noble duke, my master, my worthy arch and patron, comes tonight, and by his authority I will proclaim it, that he which finds him shall deserve our thanks, breathing the murderous caitiff to the stake. He that conceals him, death.
When I dissuaded him from his intent, and found him piped to do it, with cursed speech I threatened to discover him, he replied, "Thou unpossessing bastard, dost thou think if I would stand against thee, could thy reposure of any trust, virtue, or worth in thee make thy words faith? No. What should I deny? This I would. I, though thou didst produce my very character, I turn it all to thy suggestion, plot, and damned pretense. And thou must make a dullard of the world. If they not thought the profits of my death were very pregnant and potential spurs to make thee seek it.
Strong and fastened villain, would he deny his letter? I never got him. Hark, the Duke's trumpet. I know not why he comes. All ports I'll bar. The villain shall not escape. The Duke must grant me that. Besides, his picture I will send far and near, that all the kingdom may have note of him, and of my land loyal and natural boy, I'll work the means to make thee capable.
How now, my noble friend? Since I came hither, which I can call but now, I have heard strange news.
If it be true, all vengeance comes too short, which can pursue the offender. How dost, my lord?
Madam, my old heart is cracked.
What? Did my father's godson seek your life? He whom my father named your Edgar?
Aye, lady, shame would have it hid.
Was he not companion with the riotous knights that tends upon my father?
I know not, madam. 'Tis too bad, too bad.
Yes, madam, he was.
No marvel then, though he were ill affected. 'Tis they have put him on the old man's death to have these and waste of this his revenues. I have this present evening from my sister been well informed of them, and with such cautions, that if they come to sojourn at my house, I'll not be there.
Nor I, assure thee, Regan. Edmund, I heard that you have shown your father a childlike office.
It was my duty, sir.
He did betray his practice and received this hurt, you see, striving to apprehend him.
Is he pursued?
Oh, aye, my good lord.
If he be taken, he shall never more be feared of doing harm. Make your own purpose how in my strength you please. For you, Edmund, whose virtue and obedience doth this instant so much commend itself, you shall be ours. Natures of such deep trust, we shall much need you. We first seize on.
I shall serve you truly, however else.
For him I thank your grace.
You know not why we came to visit you.
Thus out of season, threatening dark-eyed night, occasions noble Gloucester of some prize, wherein we must have use of your advice. Our father he hath writ, so hath our sister, of defences, which I best thought it fit to answer from our hand the several messengers. From hence attend dispatch, our good old friend, lay comforts to your bosom, and bestow your needful counsel to our business, which craves the instant use.
I serve you, madam. Your graces are right welcome.
You're on, Roger.
Good even to thee, friend. Art of the house?
Aye.
Where may we set our horses?
I the mire.
Prithee, if thou love me, tell me.
I love thee not.
Why then I care not for thee.
If I had thee in Lipsbury pinfold, I would make thee care for me.
Why dost thou use me thus? I know thee not.
Fellow, I know thee.
What dost thou know me for?
A knave, a rascal, an eater of broken meats, a base, proud, shallow, beggarly, thrice-shooted, 100-pound, filthy, worsted, stocky knave, a lily-livered, action-taking knave, a whoreson, glass-gazing, superfinical rogue, a one-trunk inheriting slave, one that would be a bawd in way of good service, and had nothing but the composition of a knave, beggar, coward, pander, and the son and heir of a mongrel bitch, whom I will beat into clamorous whining if thou deny the least syllable of the addition.
What a monstrous fellow thou art, thus to rail on one that's neither known of thee nor knows thee.
What a brazen-faced varlet art thou, to deny thou knowest me. Is't 2 days ago since I beat thee and tripped up thy heels before the king? Draw, you rogue! For though it be night, the moon shines. I'll make a sup of the moonshine of you. Draw, you halcyon cullen, ye barber monger, draw!
Away, I have nothing to do with thee.
Draw, you rascal. You bring letters against the king and take Vanity the puppet's part against the royalty of her father. Draw, you rogue, or I'll so carbonade your shanks. Draw, you rascal. Come your ways.
Help! Oh, murder, help!
Strike, you slave. Stand, rogue. Stand, you neat slave. Strike!
Help! Oh, murder, help!
How now? What's the matter?
With you, goodman boy. And you please come. I'll fleece you. Come on, young master.
Weapons, arms, what's the matter here?
I'm sorry, page?
43.
43. Keep peace upon your lives. He dies that strikes again. What's the matter?
The messengers from our sister and the king.
What's your difference? Speak.
I'm scarce in breath, my lord.
No marvel you have so bestirred your valor, you cowardly rascal. Nature disclaims in thee. A tailor made thee.
Oh, it's a strange fellow. A tailor make a man.
Aye, a tailor, sir. A stone cutter or a painter could not have made him so ill, though he had been but 2 hours at the trade.
Speak yet. How grew your quarrel?
This ancient ruffian, sir, whose life I have spared at suit of his grey beard.
Thou horse and zed! Thou unnecessary litter! My lord, if you give me leave, I will trade this unbolted villain to mortar and daub the walls of a jakes with him. Spare my grey beard, you whack-tail!
Peace, sir. You beastly knave, you have no reverence.
Yes, sir, but anger has a privilege.
Why art thou angry?
That such a slave as this should wear a sword that wears no honesty. Such smiling rogues as these, like rats, oft bite these cords in twain, which are to entrench, to induce smooth every passion that in the natures of their lords rebel, bring oil to stir, snow to their colder modes, renege, affirm, and turn their halcyon beaks with every gale and vary of their masters, knowing naught like days, but following a plague upon your epileptic visage. Smile you my speeches as if I were a fool. Go, send I had you upon Sarum Plain. I'd send you cackling home to Camelot.
What, art thou mad, old fellow?
How fell you out? Say that.
No contraries hold more antipathy than I and such a knave.
Why dost thou call him knave? What's his offence?
His countenance likes me not.
No more, perchance, does mine, or his, or hers.
Sir, 'tis my occupation to be plain. I have seen better faces in my time that stands upon any shoulder that I see before me at this instant.
This is a fellow who, having been praised for bluntness, doth affect a saucy ruffiness, and constrains the garb quite from his nature. He cannot flatter, he must be plain. He must speak truth, and they will take it so. If not, he's plain. These kind of knaves I know, which in this plainness harbor more craft and more corrupter ends than 20 silly ducking observants that stretch their duties nicely.
Sir, in good sooth, or in sincere verity, under the allowance of your grand aspect, whose influence, like the wreath of radiant fire in flickering Phoebus' front.
What meanest thou by this?
To go out of my dialogue, which you discommend so much. No, sir, I am no flatterer. He that beguiled you in a plain accent was a plain knave, which, for my part, I will not be, though I should win your displeasure, to entreat me to't.
What's the offence you gave him?
I never gave him any. It pleased the king his master very late to strike at me upon his misconstruction, when he, conjunct and flattering his displeasure, tripped me behind, being down, insulted, railed, and put upon him such a deal of man that worthied him, got praises of the king, for him attempting who was self-subdued, and in the fletchant of this dread exploit, drew on me here again.
None of these rogues and cowards, but Ajax is their fool.
Bring forth the stocks, ho! You stubborn miscreant knave, you reverent braggart, will teach you.
I am too old to learn. Call not your stocks for me. I serve the king, on whose employment I was sent to you. You should do small respect, show too bold malice against the grace and person of my master, stopping his messenger.
Fetch forth the stocks. As I have life and honor, there shall he sit till noon.
Till noon, till night, my lord, and all night too.
Why, madam, if I were your father's dog, you could not use me so.
Sir, being his knave, I will.
This is the fellow of the self-same nature our sister speak of. Come, bring away the stocks.
Let me beseech your grace not to do so. His fault is much, and the king, the good king, his master, will check him for it. Your proposed low correction is such as basest and temnest wretches for pilferings and most common trespasses are punished with. The king must take it ill that he so slightly valued in his messenger should have him thus restrained.
I'll answer that.
My sister may receive it much more worse, to have her gentleman abused, assaulted for following her affairs, put in his legs. Come, my good lord, away.
I am sorry for thee, friend. 'Tis the Duke's pleasure, whose disposition all the world well knows will not be rubbed or stopped. I'll entreat for thee.
Pray you, do not, sir. I have watched and travelled Sometime I shall sleep out, the rest I'll whistle. A good man's fortune may grow at its heels. Give you good morrow.
The Duke's to blame in this. 'Twill be ill took.
good king, that must approve the common sore. Thou out of heaven's benediction contest the warm sun. Approach, thou beacon, to this underglobe, that by thy comfortable beams I may peruse this letter. Nothing almost sees my rack but misery. I know 'tis from Cordelia, who hath most fortunately been informed of my obscured course, and shall find time from this enormous state, seeking to give losses their remedies. All weary and o'erwatch, take vantage, heavy eyes, not to behold this shameful lodging. Fortune, good night. Smile once more, turn thy wheel.
Oh, I heard myself proclaimed, and by the happy hollow of a tree escaped the hunt. No port is free, no place that guard and most unusual vigilance does not attend my taking. Whilst I may escape, I will preserve myself. I am bethought to take the basest and most poorest shape that ever penury in contempt of man brought near to beast. My face I'll grime with filth, blanket my loins, elf all my hair with knots, and with presented nakedness outface the winds and persecutions of the sky. The country gives me proof and precedent of bedlam beggars who with roaring voices strike in their numbed and mortified bare arms pins, wooden pricks, nails, sprigs of rosemary. And with this horrible object from low farms, poor pelting villages, sheepcotes and mills, sometime with lunatic bands, sometime with prayers, enforce their charity. Oh, poor Turlygod! Poor Tom! That's something yet. Edgar, I nothing am.
'Tis strange that they should so depart and not from hence and not send back my messenger.
I learned the night before there was no purpose of his remove.
Hail to thee, noble master.
How makest thou this shame thy pastime?
Looks like he wears the cruel garters. Horses are tied by the heels, dogs and bears by the neck, monkeys by the loins, and men by the legs when a man's over lusty at legs, and then he wears wooden nether stocks.
What's he that of so much thy place mistook to set thee here?
It is both he and she, your son and daughter.
No.
Yes.
No, I say.
I say yea.
No, no, they would not.
Yes, they have.
By Jupiter, I swear, no, they durst not do it. They would not, could not do it. 'Tis worse than murder to do upon respect such violent outrage. Resolve me with all modest haste, which way thou mayst deserve, or they purpose this usage coming from us.
My lord, when at their home, I did commend your highness's letters to them. Ere I was risen from the place that showed Maduri kneeling, came there a raking post, stewed in his haste, half breathless, panting forth from Goneril, his mistress, salutations, delivered letters, spite of intermission, which presently they read, on whose comments they summoned up their men, straight took horse, commanded me to follow and attend the leisure of their answer, gave me cold looks, and meeting here the other messenger, whose welcome I perceived had poisoned mine, being the very fellow that of late displayed so saucily against your highness, having more man than wit about me, drew. He raised the house with loud and coward cries. Your son and daughter found this trespass worth this shame which here it suffers.
Oh, how this mother swells up toward my heart. Historica passio down, thy clinging sorrow, thy elements below. Where is this daughter?
With the earth, sir, within.
Follow me not. Stay there.
Made you no more offense than what you speak of?
No. How chance the king's comes with so small a train?
And thou hadst been set on the stocks for that question, thou hadst well deserved it.
Why, fool?
We'll set thee to school to an ant, to teach that there's no laboring in the winter. All that follows their noses are led by their eyes, but blind men, and there's not a nose among 100, but can smell him that's stinking. Let go thy hold when a great wheel runs down a hill, let it break thy neck with following it. But the great one that goes up the hill, let him draw thee after. When a wise man gives thee better counsel, give me mine again. I would have none but knaves follow it, since a fool gives it. That, sir, that serves for gain, and follows but for form. Will pack when it begins to rain, and leave thee in the storm. But I will tarry, the fool will stay. Let the wise man fly. The knave turns fool that runs away. This fool, no knave, Purdy.
Where learnt you this, fool?
Not in the stocks, fool.
Deny to speak with me. They are sick. They are weary. They traveled hard tonight. Mere justice in the image of revolt and flying off. Fetch me a better answer.
My dear lord, you know the fiery quality of the Duke, how unremovable and fixed he is in his own course.
Vengeance, death, plague, confusion. What fiery quality? I'm Gloucester. Gloucester, I'd speak with the Duke of Cornwall and his wife.
Aye, my good lord.
The king would speak with Cornwall. The dear father would with his daughter speak, commands her service. Fiery Duke, tell the hot Duke that Lear, no, but not yet may be he is not well. Infirmity doth still neglect all office, whereto our health is bound. We are not ourselves, when nature being oppressed, command the mind to suffer with the body. I'll forbear, and am fallen out with my more headier will to take the indisposed and sickly fit for the sound man, death on my state. Wherefore should he sit here? This act persuades me that this remotion of the Duke and her is practice. Only give me my servant forth. Tell the Duke and's wife I'll speak with them now, presently. Bid them come forth and hear me, or at their chamber door I'll beat the drum till it cry sleep to death.
I would have all well betwixt you.
Oh, my heart, my heart.
Cry to it, uncle, as the cockney did the eels when she put them in the paste alive. She wrapped them in the coxcombs with a stick and cried, "Down, wantons, down!" 'Twas her brother that in pure kindness to his horse buttered his hay.
Good morrow to you both.
Hail to your grace.
I am glad to see your highness.
Regan, I think you are. I know what reason I have to think so. If thou shouldst not be glad, I would divorce me from thy mother's tomb, sepulchring an adulteress. Yea, are you free? Some other time for that. Beloved Regan, thy sister is not. Oh, Regan, she hath tied sharp-toothed unkindness like a vulture here. I can scarce speak to thee, thou not believe of how deprived equality. Oh, Regan.
I pray, sir, take patience. I have hope you less know how to value her desert than she to slack her duty.
My curse is on her.
Oh, sir, you are old. Nature on you stands on the very verge of her confine. You should be ruled and led by some discretion that discerns your state better than you yourself. Therefore, I pray that to our sister you do make return. Say you have wronged her, sir.
Ask her forgiveness. Do you mark how this becomes the house, dear daughter? I confess that I am old. Age is unnecessary. On my knees, I beg that you'll vouchsafe me raiment, bed, and food.
Good sir, no more. These are unsightly tricks. Return you to my sister.
No, Regan. She hath abated me of half my train, looked black upon me, struck me with her tongue, most serpent-like upon the very heart. All the stored vengeances of heaven fall on her ungrateful top. Strike her young bones, you taking airs with lameness.
Aye, sir.
You nimble lightnings, dart your blinding flames into her scornful eyes. Infect her beauty. You fen-sucked fogs drawn by the powerful sun to fall and blast her pride.
Oh, the blessed God, so will you wish on me when the rash mood is...
No, Regan. Thou shalt never have my curse. The tender-hested nature shall not give the o'er to harshness. Her eyes are fierce, but thine do comfort and not burn. 'Tis not in thee to grudge my pleasures, to cut off my train, to bandy hasty words, to scant my sizes, and in conclusion to oppose the bolt against my coming in. Thou better knowest the office of nature, bond of childhood, effects of courtesy, dues of gratitude. Thy half of the kingdom hast thou not forgot wherein I thee endowed?
Good sir, to the purpose.
Who put my man in the stocks?
What trumpets that?
I know it to my sisters. This approves her letters that she would soon be here. Is your lady come?
This is a slave whose easy borrowed pride dwells in the fickle grace of her as follows. Our varlet from my sight.
What means your grace? I think that's Lear's line.
Goneril,
My servant. Regan, I have good hope that thou didst not. Who comes here?
Servant?
Vicky, start again.
I
Who
have
struck-
good hope thou didst not know, aunt.
Who comes here? Oh, heavens, if you do love old men, if you sweet sway allow obedience, if yourselves are old, make it your cause. Send down and take my part. Art not ashamed to look upon this beard? Oh, Regan, wilt thou take her by the hand?
Why not by the hand, sir? How have I offended? All's not offense that indiscretion finds, and dotage teems so.
Oh, sides, you are too tough. Will you yet hold? How came my man in the stocks?
I set him there, sir, but his own disorders deserved much less advancement.
You, did you?
I pray you, father, being weak seems so. If till the expiration of your month you will return and sojourn with my sister, dismissing half your train, come then to me. I am now from home, and out of that provision which shall be needful for your entertainment.
Return to her, and 50 men dismissed? No, rather I abjure all roofs and choose to wage war against the enmity of the air, to be a comrade with the wolf and owl, necessity's sharp pinch return with her. By the hot blood in France that dowerless took our youngest born, I could as well be brought to knee his throne and squire like pension bag to keep base life afoot. Return with her. Persuade me rather to be slave and sumpter to this detested groom.
At your choice, sir.
Now I prithee, daughter, do not make me mad. I will not trouble thee, my child. Farewell. We'll no more meet, no more see one another. But yet thou art my flesh, my blood, my daughter, or rather a disease that lies within my flesh, which I must needs call mine. Thou art a bile, a plague sore, an embossed carbuncle in my corrupted blood, but I'll not chide thee. Let shame come when it will, I do not call it. I do not bid the thunder bearer shoot, nor tell tales of thee to high judging Jove. Mend when thou canst. Be better at thy leisure. I can be patient. I can stay with Regan, I and my 100 knights.
Not altogether so, sir. I look not for you yet, nor am provided for your fit welcome. Give ear, sir, to my sister, for those that mingle reason with your passion must be content to think you are old. And so, but she knows what she does.
Is this well spoken now?
I dare avouch it, sir. What, 50 followers? Is it not well? What should you need of more? Yea, or so many, sith that both charge and danger speaks gainst so great a number. How in a house should many people under 2 commands hold amity? 'Tis hard, 'tis almost impossible.
Why might you not, my lord, receive attendance, or from those that she calls servants, or from mine?
Why not, my lord? If then they chance to slack you, we could control them. If you will come to me, for now I spy a danger, I entreat you to bring but 5 and 20. To no more will I give place or notice.
I gave you all.
And in good time you gave it.
Made you my guardians, my depositaries, but kept a reservation to be followed with such a number. What, must I come to you with 5 and 20? Regan, said you so?
And speak it again, my lord, no more with me.
Those wicked creatures yet do seem well favored when others are more wicked. Not being the worst stands in some rank of praise. I'll go with thee, thy 50 yet doth double 5 and 20, and thou art twice her love.
Hear me, my lord. What need you 5 and 20, 10, or 5, to follow in a house where twice so many have a command to send you?
What needs one?
Oh, reason not the deed. Our basest beggars are in the poorest things superfluous. Allow not nature more than nature needs. Man's life as chief as beasts. Thou art a lady, if only to go warm were gorgeous, why nature needs not. What thou gorgeous wearest which scarcely keeps thee warm, but for true need, you heavens give me that patience, patience I need. You see me here, you gods, a poor fellow as full of grief as age, wretched in both. If it be you that stirs these daughters' hearts against their father, fool me not too much to bear it lamely. Touch me with noble anger. Oh, let not women's weapons water drop stain my cheeks. No, you unnatural hags. I will have such revenges on you both that all the world shall. I will do such things. What they are yet I know not, but they shall be the terrors of the earth. You think I'll weep? No, I'll not weep. I have full cause of weeping, but this heart shall break in 100,000 flows. Oh, ere I weep. Oh, fool, I shall go mad.
Let us withdraw. 'Twill be a storm.
This house is little. The old man and his people cannot be well bestowed.
'Tis his own blame hath put himself from rest, and must needs taste his folly.
For his particular, I'll receive him gladly, but not one follower.
So am I purposed. Where is my lord of Gloucester?
Follow the old man forth. He is returned.
King is in high rage, and will I know not where.
'Tis good to give him way. He leads himself.
My lord, entreat him by no means to stay there.
Alack, the night comes on, and the bleak winds do sorely rustle. For many miles about, there's not a bush.
Oh, sir, to willful men the injuries that they themselves procure must be their schoolmasters. Shut up your doors. He is attended with a desperate train, and what they may incense him to, being apt to have his ear abused, wisdom bids fear.
Shut up your doors, my lord. 'Tis a wild night, my Regan counsels well. Come out of the storm.
What's here beside foul weather?
One minded like the weather most unquietly.
I know you. Where's the king?
Contending with the fretful element. Bids the wind blow the earth into the sea, or swell the curled waters above the main. Did that things might change or cease, tears his white hair, which the impetuous blasts with Isles rage catch in their fury and make nothing of. Strives in his little world of man to outscorn the to and fro conflicting wind and rain. This night, wherein the cup-drawn bear would couch, the lion and the belly-pinched wolf keep their fur dry. Unbonneted, he runs and bids what will take all.
But who is with him?
None but the fool who labors to outjest his heart-struck injuries.
Sir, I do know you, and dare upon the warrant of my art commend a dear thing to you. There is division, although as yet the face of it be covered with mutual cunning twixt Albany and Cornwall. But true it is, from France there comes a power into this scattered kingdom, who already wise in our negligence hath secret feet in some of our best ports, and are at point to show their open banner. Now to you, if on my credit ye dare build so far, to make your speed to Dover, you shall find some that will thank you, making just report of how unnatural and bemadding sorrow the king hath caused to plain. I am a gentleman of blood and breeding, and from some knowledge and assurance offer this office to you.
I will talk farther with you.
No, do not. For confirmation that I much more than my outwall Open this purse and take what it contains. If you shall see Cordelia, as fear not but you shall, show her this ring, and she will tell you who your fellow is that yet you do not know. I'll on this storm. I will go seek the king.
Give me your hand. Have you no more to say?
Few words, but in effect more than all yet, that when we have found the king, I'll this way, you that. He that first lights on him, hollow the other.
Blow wind and crack your cheeks. Rage, blow, you cataracts and hurricanos. Spout till you have drenched the steeples, drowned the cocks. You sulphurous and thought-executing fires, vaunt curs. To oak-cleaving thunderbolts, singe my white head, and thou, all shaking thunder, smile flat the thick rotundity of the world, crack nature, mold all germain, spill at once that make ingrateful man.
Uncle, quart holy water in a dry house is better than this rainwater out of door. Good uncle, in, ask thy daughter's blessing. Here's a night pities neither wise man nor fool.
Rumble thy belly full, spit fire, spout rain, nor rain, wind, thunder, fire are my daughters. I task not you, you elements, with unkindness. I never gave you kingdom, called you children. You owe me no subscription. Why then let fall your horrible pleasure? Here I stand, your slave, a poor, infirm, weak, and despised old man. But yet I call you servile ministers that have with two pernicious daughters joined your high engendered battle against a head so old, so white as this. Oh, 'tis foul.
He that has a house to put his head in has a good head piece. The cod piece that will house before the dead has any the head, and he shall lose. So beggars marry many. The man that makes his toe what he his heart should make shall have a corn cry woe and turn his sleep to wake. For there never was fair woman, but she made mouths in the class.
No, I will be the pattern of all patience. I will say nothing.
Who's there?
Marry his grace and a codpiece. That's a wise man and a fool.
Alas, sir, are ye here? Things that love night love not such nights as these. The ruffled sky's Gallo, the very wanderer of the dark, and makes them keep their caves. Since I was man, such sheets of fire, such bursts of horrid thunder, such groans of roaring wind and rain, I ne'er remember to have heard. Man's nature cannot carry the affliction nor the force.
Let the great gods that keep this dreadful power over our heads find out their enemies now. Tremble, thou wretch that hast within thee undivulged crimes, unwhipped of justice. Hide thee thy bloody hand, thou perjured and thou simular man of virtue that art incestuous. Caitiff in pieces shake that under covert and convenient seeming has practiced on man's life. Close up pent-up guilts, rive your concealed centers, and cry these dreadful summoners grace. I am a man more sinned against than sinning.
Alack, bareheaded. Gracious my lord, hard by here is a hovel. Some friendship will it lend you against the tempest. Repose you there, whilst I to this hard house, more hard than is the stone whereof 'tis raised, which even now but demanding after me, denied me to come in, return, and force their scanted courtesy.
My wit begins to turn. Come on, my boy. How dost, my boy? Art cold? Oh, I am cold myself. Where is this straw, my fellow? The art of our necessities is strange that can make wild things precious. Come, you hovel poor, fool and knave. I have one part of my heart that sorrows yet for thee.
He that has a little tin wit with a hey-ho, the wind and the rain, must make content with his fortunes fit, for the rain it raineth every day.
True, my good boy. Come, bring us to this hovel.
Are we Gloucesterless again?
Paul, is he there? Yeah, go ahead, Ben.
Alack, Edmund, I like not this unnatural dealing. When I desired their leave, that I might pity him, they took me from him. The youth of mine own house charged me on pain of their displeasure, neither to speak of him, entreat for him, nor any way sustain him.
Most savage and unnatural.
Go to, you say nothing. There's a diviso betwixt the Duke, and a worse matter than that I have received this letter tonight. It is dangerous to be spoken. I have locked the letter in my closet. These injuries the king now bears will be revenged at home. There's part of a power already landed. We must incline to the king. I will seek him and privily relieve him. Go you and maintain talk with the Duke, that my charity be not of him perceived. If he ask for me, I'm ill and gone to bed. Though I die for it, as no less is threatened me. The king, my old master, must be relieved. There is something strange, some strange thing toward Edmund. Pray you be careful.
This courtesy forbid thee, shall the Duke instantly know. And of that letter too. This seems a fair deserving, and must draw me that which my father loses, no less than all. Then younger rises, when the old do fall.
And there, ladies and gentlemen, we shall take our break. It is now 2:32. We will start again with Act 3, Scene 4 at 2:45.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Stephen, just to let you know, Jeffrey is continuing to have problems and he can't come back. He's like, it's getting too stressful trying to get back in, so he can't go any further.
Okay, let me think about it for a minute and then we'll work out how we're going to proceed.
I can do it now, if you need me to.
Okay, David, fine, that's it. So David, will you please take over the role of Gloucester? And you forgive the silly question, but you do have the Quarto, right?
Actually, that's not what I have, but I'll deal with it right now if you'll let me back in, because I have to get off for a couple of minutes.
Okay. Oh, do you want me? Or Paul, do you have easy access to the
I can send him. I'll send him the script.
Yeah, I can.
It's Anna.
I mean, I think I had, but I'll email it to you again, David.
Okay, Paul's going to email you the script, David, and we're on page 70.
Okay. No, I've got the script. I just have to. I have to deal with it. I'm very bad with this putting it on screen. That's the problem. So I'm going to go out and I will be back.
Okay.
May I ask a question?
You can just sort of stop your video and mute yourself. You don't actually have to leave Zoom.
Well, I have to get to the script.
Yeah, I know, but still, Zoom. If you just mute yourself and stop your video, Zoom can still be in the background while you're finding.
Oh, right. Okay.
Since you'll eventually
just open it up in Acrobat PDF.
Yeah.
For some of us, Tony, that's easier said than done.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. Yeah.
Is there a master mute? Because sometimes my mute read and not read looks fine, but there's a little delay. To your knowledge, is there any master control?
There is, but I never use it.
That's what I thought. I didn't think
but I don't do it, so there shouldn't be a thing. Sometimes I'll like stop people's video if like it's going on and you shouldn't be on, but and then there's the issue where then the host or the co-host has to like ask you to turn it back on before you turn it back on, which is
that's
why
happened to me. There's something else. Yeah, that's happened to me. There's something I do where I just do it on my phone and I realize the phone looks fine, like I'm unmuted, but I found out about it because I realized he could override this other group. So cool. Thank you.
Yeah. There is an override, but it gets complicated because then once the host does it, only the host can sort of put it back. So.
Oh my God, Star Trek is real. We're talking about overrides.
We are.
One of Khan's great lines. Where's the override? Steve, I was out of the room. Am I being Gloucester anymore, or am I done with that?
But David Seater is.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because unfortunately, that he can't. Jeffrey's. It's unable to sort of stay on consistently.
Jeffrey's having difficulty connecting. He should make an appointment in my office and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that happens a lot with Wi-Fi.
Yeah, no, that's why it's a good idea if you can to have like
an Ethernet connection.
Yeah, that helps. That's one of the things we recommend. It's yeah. I don't know. I think he's using a different machine than he uses for class because he looks sharper, but it just was having some connection difficulties, I guess. But
hey, did anybody see? He's got I think it's a YouTube channel, and somebody just sent me his "All the World's a Stage" speech. I really recommend it. Go find it.
He's doing 30 soliloquies for 30 days in April, and I've been enjoying all of them. Actually, today's is the third when he
Dan, mute yourself. What, Paul?
He's done one for every day so far, and today's was Richard III in Act 5 when he wakes up. So,
I love that speech. Yeah.
There's a lot of really good stuff, and I think it also sort of demonstrates why he's so good as a teacher is the very sort of specificity in terms of dealing with the language, which is what Shakespeare, really asks of people doing it.
And it was so relaxed. All the World's a Stage. 7 Ages of Man. That's that speech, right?
Yeah.
It was so relaxed. I kind of had it on sort of in the background, and then you just get drawn in. It doesn't seem to be acting, but it's very clear.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen a couple of his Benedict speeches. I enjoy those very much.
Are they all on his YouTube channel? I'll go snoop.
Yeah, it's the Jeffrey Owens official YouTube channel, and so he's got a bunch of them, comedies, tragedies, lots of ones.
Tragical, historical, pastoral, right?
Yes, all of that stuff. And actually, All the World's a Stage is the only one so far that hasn't been an actual soliloquy. Because
I was about to say, I was thinking, because he made a point of saying that they're all soliloquies, not monologues. So when Ben said about, the 7 Ages of Man, I thought, hang on.
Yeah, well, that was a special for Shakespeare Day sort of thing to do. But
Shakespeare would be so much better without those talky bits that break up the action so much.
Guys, I'm having technical problems. I can't get to the Quarto. I don't know what to do here.
So you can't, sometimes, it's like even if you, because also a lot of times with PDFs, you can even open it up you don't need to have Acrobat. You can just open it in your web browser and just go back and forth between it that way. But when you try and double click on the PDF in the attachment I sent you, it doesn't open up in anything.
I just tried to see if I could even print it, and my printer's not working doing it. So I've got problems here. I need to know how to get this in. Otherwise I can't help.
Yeah, well, because it is, I think it'd be easier to deal with it on screen rather than having to.
Yeah, but how do I get it on screen? Sorry. This is what I've never learned to do, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, just try double clicking on it in the attachment. And a lot of times what it will do is it will either open it in the browser or it will open it in your something else.
In other words, double click on it, it should open.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need another drink.
It opens, but now I'm not on screen.
Yes, you are.
Oh, really? But I can't see you guys.
Well, that's the trick with Zoom, and you have to, just look at the script. And,
are you looking at us in gallery or in speaker?
I'm sorry?
Are you looking at us in gallery view or speaker view?
He doesn't have us on at all.
Oh, I can't even tell. I can't. All I've got right now on my screen is the script.
Oh, well, we can see you. That's fine. At least we can see you.
Dave.
Yeah.
Put your pointer over your Zoom icon, wherever it is, the bottom, on the left, to the right.
Yeah.
All right, click on that, and you'll get the screen again.
Oh, okay. But now I can't see the script. So.
Okay, just chill for a second.
I'm sorry?
Chill for a second. Now take your pointer and go up to the upper right, and you should see an X, a square, and a line.
No, I don't.
The upper right of your screen, you don't have an X, a square, and a line?
You're talking about the Zoom screen or?
Yes, all the way at the top right of the Zoom screen.
Oh, I'm not getting it. No.
Oh.
Well, let me hold on. Let me go into. I need to be in.
If anybody knows Dave's computer or a system other than my own, what I'm trying to get him to do is clicking on the line to minimize it, and it'll just be a tiny box that he can drag up to the to the.
Hold on a second here. No, that's making it bigger. Oh. No.
Yeah, and also
I want to be in gallery view or the other one.
Doesn't matter at this point. I just want you to click on the little line so that you minimize it, because right now you got either all Zoom.
Oh, I see. Okay, got it. Found it now. No, it's not. Wait a minute. Just the little line.
Just a line.
Nothing's happening when I click on it.
Click on the box next to it.
There's like an oblong. That gives. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you and see you.
And we see you. What we're trying to get you to do is make the Zoom thing a very small box.
If David, what you can also do is if you go down to like one of the corners.
Hold on, you want me in? Hold on a second.
Okay. Because what you want to do is you want to have like two screens, two different programs sort of open at the same time.
I realize that, but how do I do it?
What you need to do is you need to change the size of the screen. So if you go to starting with either your Zoom screen, start with your Zoom screen, go to like one of the corners, and you should sort of see a little arrow pop out. And if you click and hold down and then move the arrow, you can make your
You don't mean share screen, you mean? Is that what you mean?
No.
No. This is just at the very sort of edges of the Zoom box. If you bring your cursor, which normally looks like just a sort of regular pointy arrow, when it gets to the end, then you end up with two arrows at the end, which means that if you click and hold down at like a corner or at a side, you can resize it and make it narrower.
I can't find that.
No, Paul, it doesn't work if he's got it maximized.
I've got a Mac. Yeah, I've got a Mac.
Okay. Well, are you okay? So let's go to view. You should be in like, you shouldn't be in full screen. You should be in like either speaker or gallery. Do you see?
Yeah, I think I'm in gallery at the moment.
Okay. All right. Well, then if you're in gallery and if you go down to like any edge of the Zoom box, you should see when your cursor gets near the edge, you should see the two arrows. I mean, a line with arrows on both sides, which is like the resize tool.
I can't find it.
It's just when your cursor is at the edge of the screen. You should see it should be like when it's over the screen, it looks like the normal arrow. And then when you get to the edge of the screen, it should be like a two-sided arrow so that you can close it.
I can't find it.
Yeah, that doesn't work if you're maximized.
I don't think he is maximized. Are you in full screen? Does it say full screen or just says gallery view?
It says speaker view. Exit full screen. Would that be it?
Yeah, yes. Exit full screen.
Ah, okay. But see, I just have the script at the bottom now. And it's very hard to, well.
Okay, well, but yeah, I mean, what
I've got this little box thing that's also, oh, now I'm back in the, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, and you still.
I may have to do this without you seeing me.
Well,
we can see you.
You can see me?
You can see us.
Yeah, you can. Maybe you can't see us while you're reading the script, but you.
Oh, okay. Well, then I think this will work.
And then after you're done with your scene, then go back into Zoom and stop your video. And
well, maybe. What page are we on again?
70.
70?
Yes.
Sorry to be such a pain in the neck. But
that's okay. Can I move on to something else? I just want to talk because I'm getting a number of questions here in Act 3, Scene 7. Roger is the steward. Then Derek is the servant at the bottom of page 85 that is just called the servant. And then on page 87, we have two further servants, and Kate is servant number 1, and servant number 2 is Roger again. Okay, does everybody understand?
Okay.
Yep.
All good.
Okay, great.
Just so I'm clear. So my line starts on "Hold your hand, my lord. I have served ever since I was a child." That's me.
No, you're
That's
the
me.
first servant on page 87.
Ah,
There's a difference between the servant, and then there is the second servant, and then there is the first servant.
okay.
On the it's 1, 2, 3, the 6th line down on page 87. You only have the one, the one speech of 3 lines. Starting, let's follow the old earl and get the bedlam.
Okay, thank you.
You got it?
Yep, got it.
Okay, Roger's okay. Derek, you got it?
I got it, yes.
Okay, great. Thanks very much. We're running a little late now. I think we should begin as soon as David gives us the go-ahead, that he's ready to go.
Well, I've got the script, so I'm ready to go in that respect.
Okay, well, before we do go on, David, I want to thank you very much for jumping in like this.
No,
And
I appreciate
glad
it.
you were
I
there
had
to do
better
that.
prepared to do this.
Yeah. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, shall we begin, please, with the second half of the play, starting at the top of Act 3, Scene 4, with the entrance of Lear, Kent, and the Fool.
Here is the place, my lord. Good my lord, enter. The tyranny of the open night's too rough for nature to endure.
Well, let me alone.
Good my lord, enter.
Wilt break my heart?
I'd rather break mine own. Good my lord, enter.
Thou think'st 'tis much that this tempestuous storm invades us to the skin, so 'tis to thee. But where the greater malady is fixed, the lesser is scarce felt. Thou'lt shun a bear, but if thy flight lay toward the roaring sea, thou'lt meet the bear in the mouth. When the mind's free, the body's delicate. This tempest in my mind doth from my senses take all feeling else, save what beats their filial ingratitude. Is it not as this mouth should tear this hand for lifting food to it? But I will punish sure. No, I will weep no more in such a night as this. Oh, Regan, Goneril, your kind old father, whose frank heart gave you all, oh, that way madness lies. Let me shun that, no more of that.
Good my lord, enter.
Prithee, go in thyself. Seek thy one ease. This tempest will not give me leave to ponder on things that would hurt me more, but I'll go in. Poor naked wretches, wheresoe'er you are that bide the pelting of this pitiless night, how shall your houseless heads and unfed sides, your looped and windowed raggedness defend you from seasons such as these? Oh, I have ta'en too little care of this. Take physic, pomp, expose thyself to feel what wretches feel, that thou mayst shake the superflux to them and show the heavens more just.
Uncle, there's the spirit. Help, help, help me.
Give me my hand. Give me thy hand. Who's there?
The spirit, he says his name's poor Tom.
What art thou that dost grumble there in the straw? Come forth.
Away! Shh! The foul fiend follows me. Through the sharp hawthorn blows the cold wind. Go to thy cold bed and warm thee.
Hast thou given all to thy 2 daughters, and art thou come to this?
Oh, who gives anything to poor Tom, whom the foul fiend hath led through fire, and through ford, and whirlpool, or bog, and quagmire? Oh, that hast laid knives under his pillow, and halters in his pew, set ratsbane by his pottage, made him proud of heart to ride on a bay-trotting horse over 4-inch bridges, to course his own shadow for a traitor. Bless thy 5 wits, but Tom's a cold. Bless thee from the whirly winds, star blusting and taking. Oh, do poor Tom some charity, whom the foul fiend vexes. Oh, there could I have him now, and there again.
What, his daughters brought him to this pass? Couldst thou save nothing? Didst thou give them all?
Nay, he reserved a blanket, else we'd all been shamed.
Now all the plagues that in the pendulous air hang fated o'er men's faults fall on thy daughters.
He hath no daughters, sir.
Death, traitor! Nothing could have subdued nature to such a lowness but his unkind daughters. Is it the fashion that discarded fathers should have thus little mercy on their flesh? Judicious punishment 'twas this flesh begot these pelican daughters.
Oh, pillycock's egum, pillycock's hill, low, low, low.
This cold night will turn us all to fools and madmen.
Take heed to the foul fiend. Obey thy parents. Keep thy words justly. Swear not. Commit no means with another man's sworn spouse. Set heart thy sweetheart on proud array. Oh, Tom's a cold.
What hast thou been?
A serving man, proud in heart and mind, that curled my hair, worn gloves in my cap, served the lust of my mistress's bed, and did the act of darkness with her, swore as many oaths as I spake words, and broke them in the sweet face of heaven. One that slept in the contriving of lust, and wait to do it. Wine load I deeply, dice dearly, and in woman out paramored the Turk. False of heart, light of ear, bloody of hand, hog and sloth, fox and stealth, wolf and greediness, dog and madness, lion and prey. Oh, let not the creaking of the shoes nor the rustling of silks betray the poor heart to women. Keep thy foot out of brothel, keep thy hand of placket, thy pen from lender's book, and defy the foul fiend. Still, through the hawthorn blows the cold wind. Hey, no, no, nee. Dolphin, my boy, cease not, let him trot by.
Why, thou wert better in thy grave than to answer with thy uncovered body in this extremity of the skies. Is man no more? But this consider him well. Thou owest the worm no silk, the beast no hide, the sheep no wool, the cat no perfume. Hers 3 on so are sophisticated. Thou art the thing itself, unaccommodated man is no more but such a poor, bare-forked animal as thou art. Off, you lendings, come on.
Prithee, nuncle, be content. This is a naughty night to swim in. Now a little fire in a wide field were like an old lecher's heart, a small spark, all the rest in body cold. Look, here comes a walking fire.
Ah! This is the foul fiend, flippity gibbet! He begins at curfew and walks to the first cock. He gives the web and the pin, screams the eye and makes the hare lip, mildews the white wheat and hurts the poor creature of the earth. With hard-footed thrice the old, he met the nightmare and her ninefold bitter, oh, light, and a troth plight and harrot thee, with harrot thee.
How fair is your grace?
What's he?
Who's there? Who is ye seek?
What are you there? Your names?
The poor Tom that eats the swimming frog, the toad, the todpole, the walnut, and the water, that in the fury of his heart, when the foul fiend rages, eats cow dung for salads, swallows the old rat and the ditch dog, drinks the green mantle of the standing pool, who is whipped from tithing to tithing, and stocked, punished, and imprisoned, who hath had 3 suits to his back, 6 shirts to his body, 6 shirts, horse to ride, and weapon to wear. But mice and rats and such small deer hath been Tom's food for 7 long year. Beware, my follower. Peace, Snowbag, peace, thou fiend!
What? Hath your grace no better company?
The Prince of Darkness is a gentleman. Modo he's called, and Mahu.
Our flesh and blood is grown so vile, my lord, that it doth hate what it gets it.
Oh, poor Tom's a cold.
Go in with me. My duty cannot suffer to obey in all your daughter's hard commands, though her injunction be to bar my doors, and let this tyrannous night take hold upon you. Yet have I ventured to come seek you out, and bring you where both food and fire is ready.
First, let me talk with this philosopher. What is the cause of thunder?
My good lord, take his offer. Go into the house.
I'll take a word with his most learned Theban. What is your study?
How to prevent the fiend, and to kill vermin.
Let me ask you one word in private.
Importune him to go, my lord. His wits begin to unsettle.
Canst thou blame him? His daughters seek his death. Oh, that good Kent, he said it would be thus, poor banished man. Thou sayest the king grows mad? I'll tell thee, friend, I'm almost mad myself. I had a son, now outlawed from my blood. It sought my life, but lately, very late, I loved him, friend. No father his son dearer. True to tell thee, the grief has crazed my wits. Oh, what a night's this! I do beseech your grace.
Oh, cry you mercy, noble philosopher, your company.
Tom's a cold.
In, fellow there, in the hovel, keep thee warm.
Come, let's in all.
This way, my lord.
With him I will keep still with my philosophy.
Good my lord, soothe him. Let him take the fellow.
Take him you on.
Sarah, come on. Go along with us.
Come, good Athenian.
No words, no words. Hush.
Child, roll into the dark town, come. His word was still FIFO and fum. I smell the blood of a British man.
I will have my revenge ere I depart the house.
Oh, my lord, I may be censured that nature thus gives way to loyalty. Something fears me to think of.
I now perceive it was not altogether your brother's evil disposition made him seek his death, but a provoking merit, set a work by a reprovable badness in himself.
How malicious is my fortune, that I must repent to be just. This is the letter he spoke of, which approves him an intelligent party to the advantages of France. O heavens, that his treason were, or I not the detector.
Go with me to the Duchess.
If the matter of this paper be certain, you have mighty business in hand.
True or false, it hath made the Earl of Gloucester. Seek out where thy father is, that he may be ready for our apprehension.
If I find him comforting the king, it will stuff his suspicion more fully. I will persevere in my course of loyalty, though the conflict be sore between that and my blood.
I will lay trust upon thee, and thou shalt find a dearer father in my love.
Here is better than the open air. Take it thankfully. I will piece out the comfort what addition I can. I will not be long from you.
All the power of his wits have given way to impatience. The gods deserve your kindness.
Ah! Fredretto calls me and tells me Nero is an angler in the lake of darkness. Oh, pray, innocent, beware the foul fiend.
Prithee, uncle, tell me whether a madman be a gentleman or a yeoman?
A king to have 1,000 red burning spits come hissing in upon them.
Ah! The foul fiend bites vomit my back.
He's mad that trusts in the tameness of a wolf, a horse's health, a boy's love, a whore's oath.
It shall be done. I will arraign them straight. Come, sit thou here, most learned justice. Thou sapient sir, sit here. No, you she-foxes.
Ah, look where he stands and glares. Wants thou eyes? At trawl, madam, come o'er the broom, Bessie to me.
The road hath a leak, and she must not speak, for where she dares come over to thee.
Oh, the poor fiend, the foul fiend haunts poor Tom in the voice of a night hop and dance. Oh, cries the Tom's belly for 2 white herring. Oh, croak not, black angel, I have no food for thee.
How do you, sir? Stand you not so amazed. Will you lie down and rest upon the cushions?
I'll see their trial first. Bring in their evidence, thou robbed man of justice, take thy place, and thou his yoke fellow of equity, bench by his side. You are of the commission. Sit you two.
Let us deal justly. Sleepest or wakest, thou jolly shepherd, thy sheep be in the corn, and for one blast of thy minikin mouth, thy sheep shall take no harm. The cat is grey.
Arraign her first, his goneril. I here take my oath before this honorable assembly, kicked the poor king, her father.
Come hither, mistress. Is your name Goneril?
She cannot deny it.
Cry you mercy, I took you for a joint stool.
And here's another whose warped looks proclaim what stone her heart is made, and stop her there. Arms, sword, fire, corruption in the place. False justice, or why hast thou let her escape?
Oh, bless thy 5 wits.
Oh, pity, sir. Where is the patience now that you have so oft boasted to retain?
Oh, my tears begin to take this part so much, they'll mar my counterfeiting.
Little dogs and all, Tray, Blanche, and Sweetheart. See, They bark at me.
Oh, Tom will throw his head at them. Avaunt, ye curs! Oh, be thy mouth or black or white, tooth that poisons if it bite, mastiff, greyhound, mongrel, grimhound, or spaniel, brock or him, bobtail, tyke, or true to tail. Tom will make them weep and wail. For with throwing thus my head, dogs leap the hatch, and all are fled. Luda, come march to wakes, and fairies, and market towns. Oh, poor Tom, thy horn is dry.
Then let them anatomize Regan, see what breed's about. Heart, is there any cause in nature that makes this hardness? You, sir, I entertain you for one of my 100. Only I do not like the fashion of your garments. You'll say they are Persian attire, but let them be changed.
No, good my lord. Lie here a while.
No, make no noise, make no noise. Draw the curtains. So. We'll go into supper in the morning. So.
Come hither, friend. Where is the king, my master?
Here, sir. But trouble him not. His wits are gone.
Good friend, I prithee, take him in thy arms. I have o'erheard a plot of death upon him. There is a litter ready to lay him on it, and drive towards Dover, friend. There thou shalt meet both welcome and protection. Take up thy master. If thou shouldst dally half an hour, his life with thine and all that offer to defend him stand in assured loss. Take up the king and follow me, that will to some provision give thee quick conduct.
Oppressed nature sleeps. This rest might yet have balmed thy broken sinews, which, if convenience will not allow, stand in hard cure. Come, help to bear thy master. Thou must not stay behind.
Come, away.
Oh, when we, our betters, see bearing our woes, we scarcely think our miseries our foes. Who alone suffers most in the mind, leaving free things and happy shows behind. But then the mind much sufferance doth o'erskip, when grief hath mates and bearing fellowship. How light and portable my pain seems now, when that which makes me bend makes the king bow. He childed as I fathered. Tom, away. Mark the high noises, and thyself bewray. When false opinion, whose wrong thoughts defile thee, what will hap more tonight? Safe scape the king. Lurk.
Post speedily to my lord your husband. Show him this letter. The army of France is landed. Seek out the villain Gloucester.
Hang him instantly.
Pluck out his eyes.
Leave him to my displeasure. Edmund, keep you our sister company. The revenge we are bound to take upon your traitorous father are not fit for your beholding. Advise the Duke where you are going. To a most festuous preparation we are bound to the like. Our post shall be swift and intelligence betwixt us. Farewell, dear sister, farewell, my lord of Gloucester. How now, where's the king?
My lord of Gloucester hath conveyed him hence. Some 5 or 36 of his knights, hot questress after him, met him at gate, who with some other of the lord's dependents are gone with him towards Dover, where they boast to have well-armed friends.
Get horses for your mistress.
Farewell, sweet lord and sister.
Edmund, farewell. Go seek the traitor Gloucester, pinion him like a thief, bring him before us. Though we may not pass upon his life without the form of justice, yet our power shall do a courtesy to our wrath, which men may blame but not control. Who's there, the traitor?
Ingrateful fox, 'tis he.
Bind fast his corky arms.
What means your graces? Good my friends, consider, you are my guests. Do me no foul play, friends.
Bind him, I say.
Hard, hard, filthy traitor.
Oh, merciful lady, as you are, I am true.
To this chair bind him, villain. Thou shalt find.
By the kind gods, 'tis most ignobly done to pluck me by the beard.
So white and such a traitor.
Naughty lady, these hairs which thou dost ravish from my chin will quicken and accuse thee. I am your host. With robber hands my hospitable favors you should not ruffle thus. What will you do?
Come, sir. What letters had you late from France?
Be simple, answerer, for we know the truth.
And what confederacy have you with the traitors late-footed in the kingdom?
To whose hands you have sent the lunatic king? Speak.
I have a letter guestily set down, which came from one that's of a neutral heart, and not from one opposed.
Cunning.
And false?
Where hast thou sent the king?
To Dover.
Wherefore to Dover? Wast thou not charged at peril?
Wherefore to Dover? Let him first answer that.
I am tied to the stake, and I must stand the course.
Wherefore to Dover, sir?
Because I would not see thy cruel nails pluck out his poor old eyes, nor thy fierce sister in his anointed flesh rash boorish fangs. The sea with such a storm of his loved head in hell black night endured, would I have laid up and quenched the steel in fires. Yet poor old heart, he hoped the heavens to rage. If wolves had at thy gate heard the dern time, thou shouldst have said, good porter, turn the key. All cruels else subscribe, but I shall see the winged vengeance overtake such children.
It shalt thou never, fellows, hold a chair. Upon those eyes of thine I'll set my foot.
He that will think to live till he be old. Give me some help. Oh, cruel. Oh, ye gods.
One side will mock another. T'other too.
If you see vengeance.
Hold your hand, my lord. I have served ever since I was a child, but better service have I never done you than now to bid you hold.
How now, you dog?
If you did wear a band upon your chin, I'd shake it on this quarrel. What do you mean?
My villain?
Why then come on and take the chance of anger.
Give me thy sword. A peasant stand up thus.
Oh, I am slain, my lord. Yet have you one eye left to see some mischief on him. Oh.
Lest it see more, prevent it. Out, vile jelly! Where is thy luster now?
All dark and comfortless. Where's my son Edmund? Edmund, unbridle all the sparks of nature to quit this horrid act.
Out, villain, thou call'st on him that hates thee. It was he that made the overture of thy treasons to us, who is too good to pity thee.
Oh, my follies, that Edgar was abused. Kind gods, forgive me that, and prosper him.
Go, thrust him out at gates, and let him smell his way to Dover. How is't, my lord? How look you?
I have received a hurt. Follow me, lady. Turn out that eyeless villain. Throw the slave upon the dunghill. Regan, I plead apace. Untimely comes this hurt. Give me your arm.
I'll never care what wickedness I do if this man come to good.
If she live long and in the end meet the old course of death, women will all turn monsters.
Let's follow the old earl and get the bedlam to lead him where he would. His roguish madness allows itself to anything.
Go thou. I'll fetch some flax and whites of eggs to apply to his bleeding face. Now heaven help him.
Yet better thus, and known to be contemned, and still contemned and flattered. To be worst, lowest and most dejected thing of fortune, stands still in esperance, lives not in fear. The lamentable change is from the best, the worst returns to laughter. Welcome then, thou unsubstantial air that I embrace. The wretch that thou hast blown unto the worst owes nothing to thy blasts. But who comes here? My father, poorly led. World, world, oh world! But that thy strange mutations make us hate thee. Life
Oh, my good lord, I have been your tenant and your father's tenant this 80.
Away, get thee away, good friend, begone. Thy comforts can do me no good at all. Thee they may hurt.
Alack, sir, you cannot see your way.
I have no way, and therefore want no eyes. I stumbled when I saw. Full oft 'tis seen our means secure us, and our mere defects prove our commodities. Ah, dear son Edgar, the food of thy abused father's wrath. Might I but live to see thee in my touch, I'd say I had eyes again.
How now? Who's there?
Gods, who is it can say that I am the worst? I am worse than e'er I was.
His poor mad Tom.
And worse I may be yet. The worst is not. As long as we can say, this is the worst.
Fellow, where goest?
Is it a beggar man?
Madman and beggar too.
Has some reason, else he could not beg. In the last night's storm I such a fellow saw, which make me think a man a worm. My son came then into my mind, and yet my mind was then scarce friends with him. I have heard more since, as flies are taught. Wanton boys are we toth gods. They bite us for their sport.
How should this be? Bad is the trade that must play the fool to sorrow, angering itself and others. Bless thee, master!
Is that the naked fellow?
Aye, my lord.
I prithee get thee gone. If for my sake thou wilt o'ertake us here a mile or twain the way toward Dover, do it for ancient love, and bring some covering for this naked soul, who I'll entreat to lead me.
Alack, sir, he is mad.
'Tis the time's plague when madmen lead the blind. Do as I bid thee, or rather do thy pleasure above the rest. Begone.
I'll bring him the best apparel that I have, come on't what will.
Sirrah, naked fellow.
Poor Tom's a cold. I cannot dance it further.
Come hither, fellow.
Oh, bless thy sweet eyes, they bleed.
Knowest thou the way to Dover?
Oh, both stile and gate, horseway and footpath. Poor Tom hath been scared out of his good wits. Bless the good man from the foul fiend. 5 friends have been in poor Tom at once, of lust, as Obiticut, Hobadididence, prince of dumbness, Mabu of stealing, Modo of murder, Stibberdigit of mobing and mobing, who since possess chambermaids and waiting women. So bless thee, master.
Here, take this purse. Thou whom the heavens' plagues have humbled to all strokes, that I am wretched, makes thee the happier. Heavens deal so still that let the superfluous and lust-dieted man that stands your ordinance, that will not see because he does not feel your power quickly. So distribution should under excess, and each man have enough. Dost thou know Dover?
Aye, master.
There is a cliff, whose high and bending head looks firmly in the confine deep. Bring me but to the very brim of it, and I'll repair the misery thou dost bear with something rich about me. From that place I shall no leading need.
Give me thy arm. Poor Tom shall lead thee.
Welcome, my lord. I marvel our mild husband not met us on the way. Now, where is your master?
Madam, within, but never man so changed. I told him of the army that was landed. He smiled at it. I told him you were coming. His answer was the worse, of Gloucester's treachery and of the loyal service of his son when I informed him. Then he called me sot and told me I had turned the wrong side out. What he should most desire seems pleasant to him, what like offensive.
Then shall you go no further. It is the cowish cur of his spirit that dares not undertake. He'll not feel wrongs which tie him to an answer. Our wishes on the way may prove effects. Back, Edgar, to my brother. Hasten his musters and conduct his powers. I must change arms at home and give the distaff into my husband's hands. This trusty servant shall pass between us. Ere long you are like to hear, if you dare venture into your own behalf, a mistress's coward, wear this, spare speech, decline your head. This kiss, if it durst speak, would stretch thy spirits up into the air, conceive and fare you well.
Yours in the wrecks of death.
My most dear Gloucester, to thee woman's services, my foot usurps my body.
Madam, here comes my lord.
I have been worth the whistle.
Oh, Goneril, you are not worth the dust which the rude wind blows in your face. I fear your disposition. That nature which contemns its origin cannot be bordered certain in itself. She that herself will sliver and disbranch from her material sap perforce must wither and come to deadly use.
No more, the text is foolish.
Wisdom and goodness to the viled seem viled. Filth savors but themselves. What have you done? Tigers, not daughters, what have you performed? A father and a gracious aged man whose reverence even the head-lugged bear would lick. Most barbarous, most degenerate have you madded. Could my good brother suffer you to do it? A man, a prince, by him so beneficted, if that the heavens do not their visible spirits send quickly down to tame those vile defenses, it will come. Humanity must perform prey on itself like monsters of the deep.
Milk-withered man, thou bearest a cheek for blows, a head for wrongs, who hast not in thy brows an eye deserving thine honor from thy suffering. That thou knowest fools do these villains pity who are punished ere. They have done their mischief. Where's thy drum? France spreads his banners to our noiseless band. With plumed helm thy slayer begins threats, whilst thou, a moral fool, sits still and cries, alack, why does he so?
See thyself, devil. Proper deformity seems not in the fiend so horrid as in woman.
O vain fool.
Thou changed and self-covered thing for shame, be monster not thy feature. Were thy fitness to let these hands obey my blood, they are apt enough to dislocate and tear thy flesh and bones. Howe'er thou art a fiend, a woman's shape doth shield thee.
Marry your manhood now.
What news?
Oh, my good lord, the Duke of Cornwall's dead, slain by his servants, going to put out the other eye of Gloucester.
Gloucester's eyes?
A servant that he bred, thralled with remorse, opposed against the act, bending his sword to his great master, who thereat enraged, flew on him, and amongst them felled him dead, but not without that harmful stroke which since hath plucked him after.
This shows you are above, you justices, that these our nether crimes can so speedily venge. But oh, poor Gloucester, lost he his other eye?
Both, my lord. This letter, madam, craves a speedy answer. 'Tis from your sister.
One way I like this well, but being widow, and my Gloucester with her, may all the building on my fancy pluck upon my hateful life. Another way the news is not so took. I'll read and answer.
Where was his son when they did take his eyes?
Come with my lady hither.
He is not here.
No, my good lord, I met him back again.
Knows he the wickedness?
Aye, my good lord, 'twas he informed against him, and quit the house on purpose that their punishment might have the freer course.
Gloucester, I live to thank thee for the love thou showedst the king, and to revenge thy eyes. Come hither, friend. Tell me what thou knowest.
Why the King of France is so suddenly gone back? Know you no reason?
Something go ahead, please. I think that's me. Okay. Something he left imperfect in the state, which since his coming forth is thought of, which imports to the kingdom so much fear and danger that his personal return was most required and necessary.
Who hath he left behind him, General?
The Marshal of France, Monsieur Lafar.
Did your letters pierce the Queen to any demonstration?
I say she took them, read them in my presence, and now and then an ample tear trilled down her delicate cheek. It seemed she was a queen over her passion, who most rebel-like sought to be king o'er her.
Oh, then it moved her.
Not to a rage, patience and sorrow stream, who should express her goodliest you have seen. You have seen sunshine and rain at once. Her smiles and tears were like a better way. Those happy smilets that played on her ripe lips seemed not to know what guests were in her eyes which parted thence. As pearls from diamonds dropped in brief, sorrow would be a rarity most beloved if all could so become it.
Made she no verbal question?
Faith, once or twice she heaved the name of father, pantingly forth as if it pressed her heart, cried, "Sisters, sisters, shame of ladies, sisters." Kent, father, sisters, what the storm and the night? Let pity not be believed. There she shook the holy water from her heavenly eyes, and clamor moistened her. Then away she started to deal with grief alone.
It is the stars. The stars above us govern our conditions, else one's self mate and make could not be beget. Such different issues. You spoke not with her since?
No.
Was this before the king returned?
No, since.
Well, sir, the poor distressed Lear is at the town, who sometime in his better tune remembers what we are come about, and by no means will yield to see his daughter.
Why, good sir?
Sovereign shame so elbows him his own unkindness, that stripped her from his benediction, turned her to foreign casualties, gave her dear rights to his dog-hearted daughters. These things sting his mind so venomously that burning shame detains him from Cordelia.
Alack, poor gentleman.
Of Albany's and Cornwall's powers, you heard not?
'Tis so they are afoot.
Well, sir, I'll bring you to our master Lear, and leave you to attend him some dear cause. Will in concealment wrap me up a while. When I am known aright, you shall not grieve, lending me this acquaintance. I pray you, go along with me.
Alack, 'tis he. Why, he was met even now as mad as the vent sea, singing aloud, crowned with rank femiture and furrow weeds, with hordocks, hemlock, nettles, cacao flowers, darnel, and all the idle weeds that grow. In our sustaining corn, a century is sent forth. Search every acre in the high-grown field, and bring him to our eye. What can man's wisdom in the restoring his bereaved sense? He that can help him take all my outward worth.
There is means, madam. Our foster nurse of nature is repose, the which he lacks. That to brogue in him, there are many simples operative, whose power will close the eyes of anguish.
All blessed secrets, all you unpublished virtues of the earth, spurring with my tears, be aidant and remediant in the good man's distress. Seek for him, lest his ungoverned rage dissolve the life that wants the means to lead it.
News, madam, the British powers are marching hitherward.
'Tis known before. Our preparation stands. In the expectation of them, O dear father, it is thy business that I go about. Therefore, great France, my mourning and important tears hath pitied. No blown ambition doth our arms incite, but love, dear love, and our aged father's right. Soon may I hear and see him.
But are my brother's powers set forth?
Aye, madam.
Himself in person?
Madam, with much ado, your sister is the better soldier.
Lord Edmund spake not with your lady at home?
No, madam.
What might import my sister's letters to him?
I know not, lady.
Faith, he is posted hence on serious matter. It was great ignorance, Gloucester's eyes being out, to let him live. Where he arrives, he moves all hearts against us, and now I think is gone in pity of his misery to depatch his knighted life, moreover to descry the strength of the enemy.
I must needs after him with my letters.
Our trip set forth tomorrow. Stay with us, the ways are dangerous.
I may not, madam. My lady charged my duty in this business.
Why should she write to Edmund? Might not you transport her purposes by word? Be like something, I know not what. I love thee much. Let me unseal the letter.
Madam, I'd rather...
I know your lady does not love her husband. I am sure of that. And at her late being here, she gave strange Iliads and most speaking looks to noble Edmund. I know you are of her bosom.
Aye, madam.
I speak in understanding, for I know it. Therefore I do advise you to take this note. My lord is dead. Edmund and I have talked, and more convenient is he for my hand than for your lady's. You may gather more if you do find him. Pray you give him this. And when your mistress hears thus much from you, I pray desire her call her wisdom to her. So farewell. If you do chance to hear of that blind traitor, preferment falls on him that cuts him off.
Would I could meet him, madam, I would show what lady I do follow.
Fare thee well.
When shall we come to the top of that same hill?
You do climb it up now. Look how we labor.
Methinks the ground is even.
Oh, horribly steep. Hark, do you hear the sea?
No, truly.
Why then your other senses grow imperfect by your eyes' anguish.
So it may it be indeed. Methinks thy voice is altered, and thou speaks with better phrase and matter than thou didst.
Y'are much deceived in nothing am I changed but in my garments.
Methinks you're better spoken.
Come on, sir, here's the place. Stand still. Oh, how fearful and dizzy 'tis to cast one's eyes so low. The crows and chaws that wing the midway air show scarce so gross as beetles. Halfway down hangs one that gathers sampi. Dreadful trade. Methinks he seems no bigger than his head. The fishermen that walk upon the beach appear like mice, and yond tall anchoring bark diminished to her cock. Her cock above I almost too small for sight. The murmuring surge that on the unnumbered idle pebble chafes cannot be heard. It's so high, I'll look no more, lest my brain turn and the deficient sight topple down headlong.
Set me where you stand.
Give me your hand. You are now within a foot of the extreme verge. For all beneath the moon would I not leap upright.
Let go my hand. Here, friends, another purse. In it a jewel well worth a poor man's taking. Fairies and gods prosper it with thee. Go thou further off. Bid me farewell. Let me hear thee going.
Now fare you well, good sir.
With all my heart.
Why I do trifle thus with his despair is done to cure it.
Oh, you mighty gods, this world I do renounce, and in your sights shake patiently my great affliction off. If I could bear it longer and not fall to quarrel with your great apostles' wills, my snurf and loathed part of nature should burn itself out. If Edgar live, oh bless. Now, fellow, fare thee well.
Gone, sir, farewell. And yet I know not how conceit might rob the treasury of life, when life itself yields to the theft. Had he been where he thought by this, had been by past alive or dead. Ho, you, sir! Hear you, sir, speak! Thus might he pass indeed, yet he revives. What are you, sir?
Away, and let me die.
Oh, hadst thou been aught but gossamer feathers ere, so many fathom down precipitating, thou hadst shivered like an egg. But thou dost breathe, hast heavy substance, bleeds not, speaks, art sound, 10 masts at each. Make not the altitude, which thou hast perpendicularly fell. Thy life's a miracle. Speak yet again.
But have I fallen or not?
Oh, from the dread summits of this chalky bourne, look up a height. The shrill, gorged lark so far cannot be seen or heard. Do but look up.
Alack, I have no eyes. Is wretchedness deprived? That benefit to end itself by death 'twas yet some comfort, when misery could beguile the tyrant's rage and frustrate his proud will.
Give me your arm. Up so. How feel your legs? You stand.
Too well, too well.
Oh, this is above all strangeness. Upon the crown of the cliff, what thing was that which parted from you?
A poor unfortunate beggar.
Oh, as I stood here below, methoughts his eyes were 2 full moons, and had 1,000 noses, horns, whelked and waved like the enrigid sea. It was some fiend. Therefore, thou happy father, thinkst the clearest gods who make their honors of men's impossibilities have preserved thee.
I do remember now. Henceforth I'll bear affliction till it do cry out itself. Enough, enough, and die that thing you speak of. I took it for a man. Often would it say, the fiend. He led me to that place.
Oh, bear free and patient thoughts. But who comes here? The safer sense will near accommodate his master thus.
No, they cannot touch me for coining. I am the king himself.
Oh, thou side-piercing sight.
Nature is above art in that respect. There's your purse money. That fellow handles his bow like a crow keeper. Draw me a clothier's yard. Look, a mouse. Peace. This toasted cheese will do it. Here's my gauntlet. I'll prove it on a giant. Bring up the brown bills. Oh, well-flown bird in the air, high. Give word.
Sweet marjoram.
Pass.
I know that voice.
Ha, Garble. Ha, Regan, they flattered me like a dog and told me I had white hairs in my beard ere the black ones were there. To say aye and no to everything I said, aye and no to, was no good divinity. When the rain came to wet me once, and the wind to make me chatter, when the thunder would not peace at my bidding, there I found them, there I smelt them out. Go to. They are not men of their words. They told me I was everything. 'Tis a lie. I am not. Argue proof.
The trick of that voice I do remember well. Is not the king?
I ever inch a king when I do stare. See how the subject quakes. I pardoned that man's life. What was thy cause? Adultery? Thou shalt not die for adultery. No, the wren goes toot, and the small gilded fly doth lecher in my sight. Let copulation thrive. For Gloucester's bastard son was kinder to his father than my daughters got tween the lawful sheets. Toot luxury pell-mell. For I lack soldiers beyond simpering dame whose face between her forks presageth snow that minces virtue, and do shake the head here of pleasure's name to fish you, nor the soiled horse goes toot with a more riotous appetite. Down from the waist are centaurs, the women all above, but to the girdle do the gods inherit. Beneath is all the fiends. There's hell, there's darkness, there's the sulphury pit, burning, scalding, stench, consummation. Five. Give me an ounce of civet, good apothecary, to sweeten my imagination. There's money for thee.
Oh, let me kiss that hand.
Here, wipe it first. It smells of mortality.
Oh, ruined piece of nature. This great world should so wear out to naught. Do you know me?
I remember thy eyes well enough. Dost thou squinny on me? No, to thy worst blind Cupid I'll not love. Read thou the challenge, mark the penning oft.
Were all the letters suns, I could not see one.
I would not take this from report. It is, and my heart breaks at it.
Read.
What? With the case of eyes?
Oh, you are you there with me? No eyes in your head, no money in your purse. Your eyes are in a heavy case, your purse in a light. Yet you see how this world goes.
I see it feelingly.
What, art mad? A man may see how the world goes with no eyes. Look with thy ears. See how yon justice rails upon yon simple thief. Hearken the ear handy-dandy, which is the thief, which is the justice. Thou hast seen a farmer's dog bark at a beggar.
Aye, sir.
And the creature run from the cur. There thou mightst behold the great image of authority. A dog so bad in office, thou rascal beetle, hold thy bloody hand. Why dost thou lash that whore? Strip thine own back. Thy blood hotly lusts to use her, and that kind for which thou whipst her. The usurer hangs the cozener. Through tottered rags small vices do appear. Robes and furred gowns hides all. Get thee glass eyes, and like a scurvy politician seem to see the things thou dost not. No, now pull off my boots. Harder! Harder! So.
Oh, matter and impertinence, mixed reason and madness.
If thou wilt weep my fortune, take my eyes. I know thee well enough, thy name is Gloucester. Thou must be patient. We came crying hither, thou knowest the first name that we smell the air, we wail and cry. I will preach to thee, mark me.
Alack, alack the day.
When we are born, we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools. This a good block. It were a delicate stratagem to shoot a troop of horse with fell, and when I have stole upon these son-in-laws, then kill, 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 kill.
Oh, here he is. Lay hands upon him, sir, your most dear.
No rescue, but a prisoner. I am e'en the natural fool of fortune. Use me well, you shall have ransom. Let me have a surgeon, I am cut to the brains.
You shall have anything.
No second soul myself. Why, this would make a man of salt to use his eyes for garden water pots. Aye, and laying autumn's dust. I will die bravely like a bridegroom. What? I will be jovial. Come, come, I am a king, my masters. Know you that?
You are a royal one, and we obey you.
Then there's life in it. Nay, and you get it, you shall get it with running.
A sight most pitiful and the meanest wretch, past speaking of in a king. Thou hast one daughter who redeems nature from the general curse which twain have brought her to.
Hail, gentle sir.
Sir, speak you. What's your will?
Do you hear aught of a battle toward?
Most sure and vulgar, everyone hears that can distinguish sense.
But by your favor, how near's the other army?
Near and on speed for it, the main descries. Stands on the hourly thoughts.
I thank you, sir, that's all.
So that the queen on special cause is here, his army has moved on.
I thank you, sir.
You ever gentle gods, take my breath from me. Let not my worser spirit tempt me again to die before you please.
Well, pray you, father.
Now, good sir, what are you?
A most poor man made lame by fortune's blows. who by the art of known and feeling sorrows impregnant to good pity. Give me your hand, I'll lead you to some biding.
Hearty thanks. The bonnet and the benes of heaven to save thee.
Proclaimed prize most happy that eyeless head of thine was first framed flesh to raise my fortunes, thou most unhappy traitor. Briefly thyself remember, the sword is out that must destroy thee.
Now let thy friendly hand put strength enough to it.
Wherefore, would peasant, durst thou support a published traitor? Hence, lest the infection take like hold on thee. Let go his arm.
I shall not let go, sir, without caging.
Let go, slave, or thou diest.
Ah, good gentleman, go your gait, let Porvo pass. And should have been swaggering a life, it would not have been so long by a fortnight. Nay, come not near the old man. Keep out, Chavoria, or I'll try whether your coster or my butteret will be the harder. I'll be plain with you.
Out, dunghill.
Ah, chill, pick your teeth, sir. Come, no matter for your fines.
Slave, thou hast slain me, villain. Take my purse. If ever thou wilt thrive, bury my body and give the letters which thou find'st about me to Edmund, Earl of Gloucester. Seek him out upon the British party. Oh, untimely death. Death.
I know thee well, serviceable villain, as duteous to the vices of thy mistress's badness would desire.
What, is he dead?
Sit you down, father. Rest you, let's see his pockets. These letters that he speaks of may be my friends. He's dead. I'm only sorrow he had no other deathsma. Let us see. Leave gentle wax, and manners blame us not to know our enemies' minds. We'd rip their hearts, their papers is more lawful. Let your reciprocal vows be remembered. You have many opportunities to cut him off. If your will want not, time and place will be fruitfully offered. There is nothing done. If he return the conqueror, then I am the prisoner, and his bed my jail. From the loathed warmth whereof deliver me, and supply the place for your labor, your wife, so I would say, your affectionate servant, and for you her own forventer, Goneril. Oh, indistinguished space of woman's wit, a plot upon her virtuous husband's life, in the exchange for my brother here in the sands. Thee I'll rake up, the post unsanctified of murderous lechers, and in the mature time, with this ungracious paper, strike the sight of the death-practiced duke. For him 'tis well that of thy death in business I can tell.
The king is mad. How stiff is my vile sense that I stand up and have ingenious feeling of my huge sorrows. Better were I distract. So should my thoughts be fenced from my griefs, and woes by wrong imaginations lose the knowledge of themselves.
Give me your hand. Far off methinks I hear the beaten drums. Come, father, I'll bestow you with a friend.
O thou good Kent, how shall I live and work to match thy goodness? My life will be too short, and every measure fail me.
To be acknowledged, madam, is one paid. All my reports go with the modest truth. No more, nor clipped, but so.
Be better suited these weeds are memories of those worser hours. I prithee put them off.
Pardon me, dear madam. Yet to be known shortens my made intent. My boon I make it that you know me not, till time and I think meet.
Then be it so. My good lord, how does the king?
Madam, sleep still.
O you kind gods, cure this great breach in his abused nature. The untuned and hurrying senses, oh wind up this child-changed father.
So please, your majesty, that we may wake the king. He hath slept long.
Be governed by your knowledge and proceed. Its sway of your own is he arrayed?
Aye, madam, in the heaviness of his sleep we put fresh garments on him.
Good madam, be by when we do awake him. I doubt not of his temperance.
Very well.
Please you draw near. Louder the music there.
Oh, my dear father, restoration hain thy medicine on my lips, and let this kiss repair those violent harms that my two sisters have in thy reverence made.
Kind and dear princess.
Had you not been their father, these white flakes had challenged pity of them. Was this a face to be exposed against the warring winds? To stand against the deep dread bolted thunder in the most terrible and nimble stroke of quick-cross lightning to watch poor Perdue? With this thin helm, mine injurious dog, though he had bit me, should have stood that night against my fire. And wast thou fain, poor father, to hovel thee with swine and rogues forlorn, in short and musty straw? Alack, alack! 'Tis wonder that thy life and wits at once had not concluded all. He wakes! Speak to him!
Madam, do you, is fittest.
How does my royal lord? How fares your majesty?
You do me wrong to take me out of the grave. Thou art her soul in bliss. But I am bound upon a wheel of fire that mine own tears do scald like molten lead.
Sir, know me.
You are a spirit, I know. Where did you die?
Still, far wide.
He's scarce awake. Let him alone a while.
Where have I been? Where my fair daylight? I am mightily abused. I should e'en die with pity to see another thus. I know not what to say. I will not swear these are my hands. Let's see. I feel this pinprick. Would I were assured of my condition.
Look upon me, sir, and hold your hands in benediction on o'er me. No, sir, you must not kneel.
Pray do not mock. I am a very foolish, fond old man, fourscore and upward. And to deal plainly, I fear I am not in my perfect mind. Methinks I should know you and know this man, yet I am doubtful, for I am mainly ignorant what place this is, and all the skill I have remembers not these garments, nor I know not where I did lodge last night. Do not laugh at me, for as I am a man, I think this lady to be my child Cordelia.
And so I am.
Oh, be your tears wet. Yes, Faith, I pray, weep not. If you have poison for me, I will drink it. I know you do not love me, for your sisters have, as I do remember, done me wrong. You have some cause they have not.
No cause, no cause.
Am I in France?
In your own kingdom, sir.
Do not abuse me.
Be comforted, good madam. The great rage you see is cured in him, and yet it is danger to make him even o'er the time he has lost. Desire him to go in, trouble him no more till further settling.
Will please your highness walk?
You must bear with me. Pray now forget and forgive. I am old and foolish.
Holds it true, sir, that the Duke of...
Holds it true, sir, that the Duke of Cornwall was so slain?
No, this is actually Derek.
Oh, okay.
Most certain, sir.
Hold on a second. Hold it true, sir, that the Duke of Cornwall was so slain?
Most certain, sir.
Who is the conductor of his people?
As 'tis said, the bastard son of Gloucester.
They say Edgar, his banished son, is with the Earl of Kent in Germany.
Report is changeable. 'Tis time to look about. The powers of the kingdom approach apace.
The arbitrament is like to be bloody. Fare you well, sir.
My point and period will be throughly wrought, or well or ill. as this day's battle is fought.
Know if the Duke, if his last purpose hold, or whether, since he is advised by aught to change his course, he's full of abdication and self-reproving, bring us constant pleasure.
Our sister's man is certainly miscarried.
'Tis to be doubted, madam.
No, sweet lord, you know the goodness I intend upon you. Tell me but truly, but then speak the truth. Do you not love my sister?
I, honored love.
But have you never found my brother's way to the forfended place?
The thought abuses you.
I am doubtful that you have been conjunct and bosomed with her as far as we call hers.
No, by mine honor, madam.
I never shall endure her. Dear my lord, be not familiar with her.
Hear me not. She and the Duke her husband.
I had rather lose the battle than that sister should loosen him of me.
Our very loving sister, well be met. For this I hear the king is come to his daughter with others whom the rigor of our state forced to cry out. For I could not be honest, I never yet was valiant. For this business it touches us as France invades our land. Not bolds the king with others whom I fear most just and heavy causes make oppose.
Sir, you speak nobly.
Why is this reasoned?
Combined together against the enemies, for these domestic door particulars are not to question here.
Let us then determine with the ancient of war on our proceedings.
I shall attend you presently at your tent.
Sister, you'll go with us?
Oh, I know the riddle. I will go.
If ere your grace had speech with men so poor, hear me one word.
I'll overtake you. Speak.
Before you fight the battle, ope this letter. If you have victory, let the trumpet sound for him that brought it. Wretched though I seem, I can produce a champion that will prove what is avouched here. If you miscarry, your business of the world hath so an end. Fortune love you.
Stay till I have read this letter.
I was forbid it. When time shall serve, let but the herald cry, and I'll appear again.
I fare thee well. I will o'erlook this paper.
The enemy's in view. Draw up your powers. Hard is the quest of their great strength and forces, by diligent discovery, but your haste is now urged on you.
We will greet the time.
To both these sisters have I sworn my love, each jealous of the other as the stung are of the adder. Which of them shall I take? Both. One or neither. Neither can be enjoyed if both remain alive. To take the widow exasperates, makes mad her sister Goneril, and hardly shall I carry out my side, her husband being alive. Now, we'll use his countenance for the battle, which being done, let her that would be rid of him devise his speedy ticking off. As for his mercy, which he intends to Lear and to Cordelia, the battle done, and they within our power shall never see his part. For my state stands on me to defend, not to debate.
Oh, here, Father, take the shadow of this bush for your good host. Pray that the right may thrive. If ever I return to you again, I'll bring you comfort.
Grace go with you, sir.
Oh, away, old man, give me thy hand, away. King Lear hath lost. He and his daughter ta'en, give me thy hand, come on.
No, Father, sir. A man may rot even here.
What in ill thoughts again men must endure. Their going hence even as they're coming hither. Ripens is all, come on.
Some officers, take them away. Good guard, until their greater pleasure is best be known that are to censure them.
We are not the first who with best meaning have the worst. For the oppressed king I am cast down, myself could else outfrown false fortune's frown. Shall we not see these daughters and these sisters?
No, no. Come, let's away to prison. We two alone will sing like birds in the cage. When thou dost ask me blessing, I'll kneel down and ask of thee forgiveness. So we'll live and pray and sing and tell old tales and laugh at gilded butterflies and hear poor rogues talk of court news. And we'll talk with them too, who loses and who wins, who's in, who's out, and take upon the mystery of things as if we were God's spies. And we'll wear out in a walled prison pacts of sects of great ones that ebb and flow with moon.
Take them away.
Upon such sacrifices, my Cordelia, the gods themselves throw incense. Have I caught thee? He that parts us shall bring a brand from heaven and fire us hence like foxes. Wipe thine eyes. The good shall devour them, fleech and fell ere they shake, make us weep. We'll see 'em starve first. Come.
Come hither, Captain. Hark. Take thou this note. Go follow them to prison. One step I have advanced thee, if thou dost as this instructs thee. Let us make thy way to noble fortunes. Know thou this, that manner as the time is, to be tender-minded does not become a sword. Thy great employment will not bear question. Either say thou do it or thrive by other means.
I'll do it, my lord.
About it. And right happy when thou hast done. Mark, I say instantly, and carry it so as I have set down.
I cannot draw a cart nor eat dried oats. If it be man's work, I'll do it.
Sir, you have showed today your valiant strain, and fortune led you well. You have the captives that were the opposites of this day's strife. We do require then of you so to use them, as we shall find their merits and our safety may equally determine.
Sir, I thought it fit to save the old and miserable king to some retention, whose age has charms in it, whose title more to pluck the corn bosom of his side and turn our impressed glances in our eyes, which does command them. With him I have sent the queen. My reason, all the same. And they are ready tomorrow, or at a further space to appear, where you shall hold your session. At this time, me sweat and bleed. The friend hath lost his friend. And the best quarrels in the heat are cursed by those that feel their sharps. The question of Cordelia and her father requires a fitter place.
Sir, by your patience, I hold you but a subject of this war, not as a brother.
That's as we list to grace him. Methinks our pleasure should have been demanded ere you had spoke so far. He led our powers, bore the commission of my place and person, the which immediate may well stand up and call itself your brother.
Not so hot. In his own grace he doth exalt himself more than in your advancement.
In my right by me invested, he compeers the best.
That were the most if he should husband you.
Jesters do oft prove prophets.
Allah, Allah, that eye that told you so look but a squint.
Lady, I am not well, else I should answer from a full flowing stomach. General, take thou my soldiers, prisoners, patrimony, witness the world that I create thee here, my lord and master.
Mean you to enjoy him then?
The let alone lies not in your goodwill.
Nor in thine, lord.
Half-blooded fellow, yes.
Let the drum strike and prove my title good.
Stay yet, hear reason. Edmund, I arrest thee on capital treason, and in thine attaint this gilded serpent. For your claim, fair sister, I bear it in the interest of my wife, till 'tis she is subcontracted to this lord, and I, her husband, contradict the banns. If you will marry, make your love to me. My lady is bespoke. Thou art armed, Gloucester. If none appear to prove upon thy head thy heinous, manifest, and many treasons, there is my pledge. I'll prove it on thy heart ere I taste bread. Thou art in nothing less than I have here proclaimed thee.
Oh, sick.
If not, I'll ne'er trust poison.
There's my exchange. What in the world he is that names me traitor, villain like he lies. Go by the trumpet. He that dares approach on him, on you, who not? I will maintain my truth and honor firmly.
A herald ho!
A herald ho, a herald.
Trust to thy single virtue, for thy soldiers, all levied in my name, have in my name took their discharge.
The sickness grows upon me.
She's not well. Convey her to my tent. Come hither, herald, let the trumpet sound, and read out this.
Sound trumpets? If any man of quality or degree in the host of the army will maintain upon Edmund, supposed Earl of Gloucester, that he is a manifold traitor, let him appear at the third sound of the trumpet. He is bold in his defense.
Sound. Again.
Ask him his purpose, why he appears upon this call of the trumpet.
What are you, your name and quality, and why you answer this present summons?
Oh, no, my name is lost by treason's tooth, bare, gnawed, and canker bit. Yet are I moved, where is the adversary I come to cope with all.
Which is that adversary?
What's he that speaks for Edmund, Earl of Gloucester?
Self, what sayest thou to him?
Draw thy sword, that if my speech offend a noble heart, thy arm may do thee justice. Here is mine. Behold, it is the privilege of my tongue, my oath, and my profession I protest. Maugre my strength, youth, place, and eminence, despite thy victor, sword and fire new fortuned. Thy valor and thy heart, thou art a traitor. False to thy gods, thy brother, and thy father. Conspicuate against this high illustrious prince, and from the extremest upward of thy head to the descent and dust beneath thy feet, a most toad-spotted traitor, say thou. Know this sword, this arm, and my best spirits as bent to prove upon thy heart whereto I speak, thou liest.
In wisdom, I should ask thy name, but since thy outside looks so fair and warlike, and that thy being, some say, of breeding breathes, by right of knighthood, I disdain and spurn. Here do I toss those treasons to thy head. With the hell-hated lie, I'll o'erturn thy heart, which for they yet glance by and scarcely bruise, this sword of mine shall give them instant way, where they shall rest forever. Trumpets, speak!
Save him, save him!
This is mere practice, Gloucester, by the law of arms that are now bound to answer an unknown opposite. Thou art not vanquished, but cozened and beguiled.
Stop your mouth, dame, or with this paper shall I stopple it. Thou worse than anything, read thine own evil. Nay, no tearing lady, I perceive you know it.
Sir, if I do, the laws are mine, not thine. Who shall arraign me for it?
Most monstrous, know thou this paper?
Ask me not what I know.
She's desperate, govern her.
Yeah.
What you have charged me with, that have I done, and more, much more. The time will bring it out. 'Tis past, and so am I. But what art thou that hast this fortune on me? If thou be'st noble, I do forgive thee.
Let's exchange charity. I am no less in blood than thou art, Edmund. If more, the more hast wronged me. My name is Edgar, and thy father's son. The gods are just, and of our pleasant virtues make instruments to scourge us, the dark and vicious. Oh, place where thee he got cost him his eyes.
Thou hast spoken truth. The wheel is come full circle. I am here.
Methought of thy very gate did prophesy of no royal nobleness. I must embrace thee. Let sorrow split my heart if I did ever hate thee or thy father.
O worthy prince, I know it.
Where have you hid yourself? How have you known the miseries of your father?
By nursing them, my lord. List a brief tale, and when 'tis told, oh, that my heart would burst the bloody proclamation to escape that followed me so near. Oh, our lives' sweetness, that with the pain of death would hourly die rather than die at once, taught me to shift into a madman's rags, to assume a semblance that very dogs disdained, and in this habit met I my father with his bleeding rings. The precious stones new lost became his guide, led him, begged for him, saved him from despair. Never, O Father, revealed myself unto him, until some half hour passed when I was armed, not sure, though hoping of this good success. I asked his blessing, and from first to last told him my pilgrimage, but his flawed heart, alack, too weak, conflict to support twixt two extremes of passion, joy and grief, burst smilingly.
This speech of yours hath moved me, and shall perchance do good. But speak you on, you look as if you had something more to say.
If there be more woeful, hold it in, for I am almost ready to dissolve hearing of this.
Oh, this would have seemed a period to such as love, not sorrow, but another to amplify too much would make much more, and top extremity. Whilst I was big in clamor, came therein a man who, having seen me in my worst estate, shunned my abhorred society. But then finding who it 'twas that so endured with his strong armies, he fastened on my neck and bellowed out as he burst heaven, threw me on my father, told the most piteous tale of Lear and him that ever ear received, which in recounting his grief grew puissant, and the strings of life began to crack twice. Then the trumpet sounded, and there I left him tranced.
But who was this?
Kent, sir, the banished Kent, who in disguise followed his enemy king and did him service improper for a slave.
Help! Help!
Help!
What kind of help? What means that bloody knife?
It's hot. It smokes. It came even from the heart of...
Who, man? Speak!
Your lady, sir, your lady. And her sister by her is poisoned. She hath confessed it.
I was contracted to them both. All three now marry in an instant.
Produce their bodies, be they alive or dead. This justice of the heavens makes us tremble, touches us not with pity.
Oh, here comes Kent, sir.
Oh, 'tis he. The time will not allow the compliment that very manners urges.
I am come to bid my king and master good night. Is he not here?
Great thing of us forgot. Speak, Edmund, where's the king and where's Cordelia? Seest thou this object, Kent?
Alack, why this?
Yet Edmund was beloved. The one the other poisoned for my sake, and after slew herself.
Even so, cover their faces.
I pant for life. Some good I mean to do, despite of my own nature. Quickly, send, be brief, into the castle, for my writ is on the life of Lear and on Cordelia. Nay, send in time.
Run, oh run!
To who, my lord? Who hath the office? Send thy token of reprieve.
Well thought on. Take my sword to the captain. Give it to the captain.
Haste thee for thy life.
He hath commission from thy wife and me to hang Cordelia in the prison and to lay the blame upon her own despair that she fordid herself.
Oh, the gods defend her. Bear him hence a while.
How Howl, howl, howl. Oh, are you men of stones? Had I your tongues and eyes, I would use them so that heaven's vault should crack. She's gone forever. I know when one is dead. And when one lives, she's dead as earth. Lend me a looking glass. If that her breath will mist or stain the stone, why then she lives.
Is this the promised end?
Image of that horror.
Fall and cease.
The stirs. She lives. If it be so, it is a chance which does redeem all sorrows that I have ever felt.
Oh, my good master.
Prithee away.
'Tis noble Kent, your friend.
A plague upon your murders, traitors all. I might have saved her. Now she's gone forever. Cordelia, stay a little. What is it thou sayest? Her voice was ever soft, gentle, and low. An excellent thing in women. I killed the slave that was a hanging thee.
'Tis true, sir, my lords, he did.
Did I not follow? I have seen the day with my good biting falchion. I would have made them skip. I am old now, and these same crosses spoil me. Who are you? Mine eyes are not the best, I'll tell you straight.
If fortune bragged of two she loved or hated, one of them we behold.
Are you not Kent?
The same. Your servant Kent. Where is your servant Caius?
He's a good fellow, I can tell that. He'll strike, and quickly too. He's dead and rotten.
No, my good lord. I am the very man.
I'll see that straight.
That from your life of difference and decay hath followed your sad steps.
You're welcome hither.
Nor no man else. All's cheerless, dark and deadly. Your eldest daughters have foredoomed themselves, and desperately are dead.
So I think too.
He knows not what he sees, and vain it is that we present us to him.
Very bootless.
Captain.
Edmund is dead, my lord.
That's but a trifle here. You lords and noble friends know our intent. What comforts to this decay may come shall be applied. For us, we will resign during the life of this old majesty, to whom our absolute power, you to your rights with boot, and such addition as your honor have more than merited. All friends shall taste the wages of their virtue, and all foes the cup of their desert. Oh, see, see.
And my poor fool is hanged. No life. Why should a dog, a horse, a rat of life, and thou no breath at all? Oh, thou wilt come no more. Never, never, never. Pray you undo this button. Thank you, sir. Oh.
He faints, my lord. My lord.
Break, heart. I prithee, break.
Look up, my lord.
Vex not his ghost! Oh, let him pass. He hates him that would upon the rack of this tough world stretch him out longer.
Oh, he is gone, indeed.
The wonder is, he hath endured so long, he but usurped his life.
Bear them from hence. Our present business is to general woe. Friends of my soul, you twain rule in this kingdom, and the gored state sustain.
I have a journey, sir, shortly to go. My master calls, and I must not say no.
The weight of this sad time we must obey. Speak what we feel, not what we ought to say. The oldest have borne most. We that are young shall never see so much, nor live so long.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much indeed.
Yes, very well done. Excellent, excellent job, all of you. Thank you, thank you. That was very, very well done. And with our tag team Gloucester.
Bravo.
I mean, with 3 actors, anyone would think it had been Peer Gynt's title role. But anyway, thank you very much, David, and thank you very much, Ben, for jumping in like that.
More than welcome. I just
trying to get your videos.
I gotta learn how to do this stuff.
Derek?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I think I was trying to kill myself so that you wouldn't kill me first. So thank you for getting that cue.
Sure.
What a rush I was in.
We gotta give special honors to Sean for commitment.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, yes. And
love that background. That's so beautiful. Where'd you find that?
Who was this masked man?
Right?
Yeah, right.
It's weird. Did you guys think? I kept thinking like, oh, I'm not wearing my mask because I wear it so many hours a day. And a couple times when I laid the script down, I'd be like, oh no, I don't have my mask on. Because when I'm on a computer at this gig, I have to wear it, of course, for hours.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Question here. I'm trying to open my video. It will not let me do it.
We've had enough of you.
No, I stopped your video because you weren't stopping it yourself, and I thought I just sent you a thing to ask to start video, and
Won't do it. It says you can't start your video because the host has stopped it.
yeah, well, I've asked you to start it now. I've sent
Okay, here we go.
There he is.
There you go.
Hey.
Jay, thank you very much indeed for a great reading.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Are you ready to do it again for the second show today?
Yes.
Well, maybe I can get it right the next time.
Please, Mr. 8 times a week. Yes.
We're still on YouTube. Oh, we're still on YouTube. Now, shouldn't you kill us?
What?
Well, any just, yeah, I'll end our.
For those of you who may have missed